Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back today. We're playing more One Ring. We're continuing our Forging of Shadow campaign. We're on to episode 3. Had our first taste of combat last time. No one got wounded, right? Everyone just lost endurance, I think. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe one or two of you got weary, but that'll go away pretty fast. Okay. How did we like combat? Did it come back? It felt like I was forgetting everything as we were playing it, and then it was slowly coming back as the combat kind of progressed. Like, are we feeling better now about it?
I think
like it was pretty natural.
Yeah,
I thought we got back to it pretty quick. You're too hard on yourself, buddy.
Like I think so. If that's the case, let's just do a bunch more right off the bat, right? Let's just drop.
Yeah, I'd like to heal a bit.
A whole family of stone trolls comes chasing after you. So
no,
I have
something
worms.
like that.
I'm just gonna hide behind Ashley.
Yeah, and it's nighttime too, so you guys are screwed. You're gonna have to talk to them throughout the whole night just to not be cooked. So we can just continue our Hobbit references. We'll just keep doing that. So. Okay. But yeah, so we've done a little mini council. It wasn't super intense, but like we did a little mini council with Bjorn. We've done a little bit of journeying as you went from Bjorn's Hall down to Gladden Fields, and we've done a little bit of combat. So we've hit all the big things. We even did a skill endeavor when you were crossing the old ford. So yeah, I think we've hit all of the major mechanics. So all we have to do is a fellowship phase, and then we're good, right? And then
campaign over.
Campaign
the goal
over,
you've
right?
had since the very first minute we went live.
So yeah,
fellowship phases, though, I'm like looking forward to getting back to wondering, but fellowship phases, I really feel like was one of our favorite things about the system.
Someone has to establish an heir this time.
I know, yeah. That'd be fun.
It's got to come down to me. I'm the only one who's not going to live past 80 or 90.
Melissa's been talking about maybe doing it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, we were talking on the side about that.
Yeah.
I always remember, there's a few things I remember from fellowship phases in Waking of Ingmar. The two things I remember most, obviously, is Marge. Like, she was just the tops. But I also remember, like, the arrow catching thing. Like, remember? There's, like, the arrow catching. Dodge arrow. That's what it was.
I think about that so fucking often.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that you're like, yeah, I'm going to hang out with Gilly's dad today.
Gilly's dad was such a stoner, and you just became friends.
I remember there was one fellowship where I moved in with Gilly's family just for like the season, and Gilly had her scene, and then I just said I'm in the background in my underwear eating a sandwich.
Yeah, I think Long really set the tone of fellowship phases with like jogging with Floy, which was, I think, like first fellowship phase that we ever did, and I think that set the bar.
And didn't he drink
he pissed
like
off
goat milk or something?
Yeah.
Didn't he drink like
that's right.
Russian Gatorade just to replenish the electrolytes afterwards?
Yes.
Threatening the poor goat farmer lady.
So dumb. Oh god, that was so dumb. I hope if we ever get over to Bria, I do want to check in on Marge, and I want to see how Marge is doing. So it's a very
she's never
difficult.
Gonna die. Yeah,
I don't think so either.
She's the kind. She's gonna live forever.
She's got that Numenorian blood in her, so she's.
Can you imagine a couple campaigns down the line? She's our big bad.
Oh no,
big bad. I'm sorry if you're pitted against Marge. If you're pitted against Marge, I think you're the bad people, right? She's just an old lady who wanted someone to paint her fence,
right?
Yeah,
she's got Numenorian blood.
I mean, really, who knows a to-do list like Marge?
Yeah. Maybe if Eryniel could actually fix a fence properly, it wouldn't, she would have gotten a little bit of respect. Just saying.
Not in her skill set whatsoever.
Can't get any fatigue from journeying, but you can get some fatigue from hanging out with Marge. That's what you can do.
Oh, yes. For sure. Testing of patience.
Social fatigue.
So we've talked a lot about fellowship phase. We're not doing a fellowship phase today, so I feel like we just got ourselves all excited for fellowship phases, as I don't think we're there yet. But yeah, we've made some progress. I think I made a new friend, so that's nice. Kinda, maybe, I don't know. And then we had some combat, so it was a lot of fun. We ready to get started?
Yeah,
let's get in it.
Okay, so quick summary. I'll try to make it quick anyway. So last time, as I mentioned, you all traveled down from Bjorn's Hall to Gladden Fields. The overarching hook has been trying to track down Sin's brother Vidar, but you also heard some rumors about these missing Bjornings who had kind of crossed the Anduin to chase down a pack of wargs. And so you all had been traveling southward. You made it to the Gladden Fields, and then you met a man who described himself as a herbalist and a healer from Gondor, from the Houses of Healing in Minas Tirith. He also had tutelage under Saruman of Isengard, and his name was Arcinius. And he welcomed you all into his home. He kind of helped scare away this pack of wargs at one point. And his home is this sort of chimney-strewn house on the southern banks of the Gladden River. Storms were gathering, and so you all kind of hung out inside. Sid, you told him a little bit about your brother and about what you all are doing. Medwin, you were telling some tall tales about Bjorn. Like, they were getting crazier and crazier. But he was very excited to hear those, and he also is hoping to someday get an introduction to Bjorn. Agda, you were raiding the food stores and trying to cook some kind of mint and mutton pie. Edda, you were weaving some baskets from swamp reeds. They were nice.
Badly. I was badly weaving.
CALVAIN broke a teacup, and then but made amends when he gifted Arcinius some bundle of herbs and he took it very graciously and was very happy. And then in the morning, he guided you all out of the Gladden Fields, or at least southward from his house, and he was taking you to a place along the Anduin River where he knows that the river folk sometimes set up a trading post, a temporary trading post. And you all had information from your time back up at the old ford that there might be dwarves on a river folk barge. So as you were traveling, however, you stumbled upon some kind of sort of unsettling section of bog where like the mist was clinging and kind of almost like it was pulling up from this marshy ground, this stone dome. And then the warg pack that had been tailing you all for a while emerged on top of it, leapt at you all, and we got into a fight. Eventually you guys did win, but they were numerous and they did get some bites in on you. A few of you lost some endurance, but no one specifically got any wounds. The pack leader, it escaped for a little bit. You all tried to chase it initially, but it got away. Eventually, when you pushed to continue giving chase, you were worried about those Bjornings. And Sin, you were kind of arguing, like, we need to push forward. And eventually you compromised. And so like half the fellowship went one way, half the fellowship went the other way. And the sister dwarves and Medwin found an animal warren. They tracked this warg back to this little animal warren. And eventually when you went inside, you discovered there were carcasses everywhere. This wounded pack leading warg like bit the hell out of Medwin and kind of like ragdolled him a little bit, but eventually you cut him down. And that's when you started going through some of the carcasses and you realized there was someone living in here, as it wasn't just animal carcasses, but there were a couple bodies. One of those being Grimhild, who was one of the missing Bjornings, and she was alive, but unfortunately Baron, the other of the two missing Bjornings, was dead. And so you took them out. Healed up Grimhild as best you can, and then you continued away and down the banks. You eventually reached at the very, very late hours of the night, just after evening fell, just after the sun went down over the mountains to the west. And the last thing we saw was a barge on the water, some tents, some lanterns, and that's where we ended last time. So let's pick up basically right in that moment as you all are at a little bit of a distance. You can see the lights before anything, and those lights start to give shape. You hear the sounds of the river rushing. There's a light breeze, you might say, on the air a bit. You kind of hear a couple voices and some things scurrying about, maybe in the brush. But otherwise, it's this beacon of light that you hadn't seen before. How do you all want to handle this?
I think Agda will turn to Sin. There's lights over there. I think that might be where Vidar is.
She nods. Worth investigating anyway.
Gotta get across there safely. So Agda wants to kind of get closer and just look at what the terrain kind of looks.
Sin's right there with her.
Okay. And I think Medwin, you were carrying the body of.
I'm carrying
of
Baron.
And
I believe
had
Agda had the warg head as well.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So, and then Edda, you have Grimhild on maybe a litter or something you're pulling behind. So you start getting a little bit closer. You can see that there is this blocky looking boat, this barge, that is moored to a bank. It's fairly low, and there's these old posts that are not quite straight. One of them is leaning inward, one of them's leaning outward, that are coming up out of the river itself. It's not quite the same kind of remains as you remember seeing at the old ford. These do look like relatively recently built posts coming up out of the water, but they definitely are at odd angles. You can see that there are a few canvas awnings that are kind of rigged from the barge sides that reach out over the bank and create these makeshift shelters. And as you approach, you can see there's separate tents as well. A couple tables have been set up. There's a fire that's smoking in a stone ring nearby. And you also notice that there are along the river, which is relatively narrow here, you can see there are other boats that have been pulled up along the actual bank. Not as big as this barge, but smaller, like rowboat styles. And you can see by the fire, there are a handful of individuals. Looks like there is a family, maybe. You see a dark-haired man who's got a little, some kind of stringed instrument that he's plucking away at, almost mindlessly. You can see sitting next to him on this log is a woman of brownish hair. It's hard to tell with the fire. And then you can see there's two children that are sitting out in front of them, closer to the fire, but they're playing with something in the dirt. Across from them, you can see that there is a tall woodman-looking fellow. I think some of you would be able to recognize the look of a woodman who is sitting across from the fire, and he's just sort of whittling at this point some chunk of wood. And then there's there's other little shadows scurrying about here and there between some tents and some brush. So that's what you see.
Ida will kind of turn to Sin to be the one to kind of get closer and try to.
Before she does, and it's clear she is going to, she'll ask Madwin and CALVAIN, is that Woodman someone you know? Or someone from people you know?
Doubts I'd know anyone here.
Before.
We should let ourselves be known, though.
Agreed. Sin will walk up, not attempting to be hidden.
Okay. So you get within 20 feet or so of this area, and the plucking on this instrument stops, and you see heads turn. And the woodman reaches for an axe and doesn't quite draw it, but just has his hand on it. And he stands, and the adults stand. You can see the kids turn their heads, but then scurry it back. It's the more slender, shorter man with the dark hair who has the instrument, who sets the instrument down. And he goes, "Oh, hello there, hello travelers. Oh, don't be shy. Come on up, we're friendly. Come on in, traders, perhaps. Yes."
Sin will walk up. Not traders, simply a traveling party, and we'll give them a friendly short wave. We actually see a riverboard that may have gone by. Have you seen one?
You mean that one right there? That's about 10 feet that way. Right. Yes, that's my barge. Yeah, it's ours. It's a family business, you see.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. There's something we could get for you.
Well,
we've got furs, we've got foods, we've got meads. Yeah, we've got all sorts of things. Metals, tools.
Did you provide passage
fish
to dwarves?
To dwarves? Oh, yes, sure we did. Yes. Just about a week or so ago. Yeah, yes.
And Sin gets visibly excited. Vidar and Nal, were those the names?
And he just like looks over at the woman sitting next to him and next to him, and they both, oh yeah, yes, that's the ones. That's yes indeed. Yeah, young fella. Sad looking fella. Oh, he had like an air of just perfectly kind, although he didn't much care for the river too much. And then she was, well, I don't want to speak ill of anybody, but she had a bit.
She's a helpful bird.
Curmudgeon, I believe, is the word. That's what I'm looking for. That's the right word, isn't it? And his presumably his wife or his sister or something like that is like, hey, that's the right word. Yeah, curmudgeon. That's what I would say. Sure. Like, yeah. Oh, come on up now. You don't be a stranger. Come on, the fire's friendly. Everyone's friendly here. There's no issues. Come on up. We're happy.
Sin will happily gesture to her friends. Come by the fire.
Nice to meet you. I'm Agda.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, more dwarves. Dwarves everywhere these days. Oh, I've never seen so many dwarves so short a time. That's one, and that's a two. Oh, goodness. And then when Edda apparently comes out, oh, that's a three. Oh, so many dwarves. Well, you're welcome at the fire. Oh, you're a big fella, aren't you? As he starts maybe seeing Bedouin come up.
Yeah, Medwin would come up, and he's just exhausted and tired, and, like he's got bandaged wounds on his neck where he was grabbed by the warg. And he's just going to try and find a dignified place to put down Baron's body, and just sit down next to it and just start, like, stripping off all his gear just because it feels so heavy right now.
What happened to all you? Oh, goodness gracious, is that a party? Sefa, take Dovey and land somewhere else. Just take him away. And like you can see, like
Baron's body is wrapped up in a cloak too, as well, to make it a little bit more. But yeah, it's very clearly a body.
It's very clearly a body. And then you guys got blood on you. And then there's a giant warg head that is being dragged or carried by Edda as well. And so those things combined, and you can see like the woman gets the kids, and they're both young. It definitely looks like one of them might be toddlery as he tries to stand and then falls, and then tries to stand and then falls, and eventually she just picks him up, and then the three of them move inward towards where the barge is itself, and like kind of away from the campfire a bit, as all of you one by one approach, like presumably CALVAIN. Oh, elvish fella. Oh, well. And he fixes his little vest. He's well, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Welcome to my humble post. We sometimes trade with your kind. Not recently of late. I don't know if any of our wares are going to be up to your standards, of course. But you are welcome. You're all welcome. Yes. Yadvol's my name. This is you've seen my wife Seva in the little girl over there. That's Dovey. And my boy, my precious boy, that's Lan over there. He doesn't really talk much yet, unless you count like Gugas and Gagas and things like that. But he is a smart, bright one. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. Oh, and this here is hold on. He told me it. I'm going to say it correctly. Inglud, son of Ingomar. Did I get it right? Did I get it right? And you can see the woodman across from the fire looks up, gives him a nod, and like looks to you all and just says, "I am Inglud, son of Ingomar." And he like kind of nods in your direction.
It's a pleasure. Your campfire brings us great respite. We've ran into a pack of wargs on the way.
Oh, see, that's why we stay on the river. Wargs don't like the water. They don't go on the river. Never see dogs swimming around in the river, do you? Yeah, something to think about, you elves. I know. I don't mean to presume, but you all hang out in the forest and things so much, and that's where all of the wargs like to be. But on the rivers, no, they don't go on there at all. Never have that sort of problem. Yes.
Unfortunately, they claimed two of my kinsmen before we arrived. Well, one of my kinsmen and the other is gravely wounded. And I gesture over to Grimhild by Edda.
And Edda
is there any chance?
Kind of drags her closer to the fire to keep her warm.
And I'll say like Arcinius is maybe like helping you. And as like Arcinius gets closer, Oh, it's the old fella. Oh, Arcinius. Oh, is that? Oh, it's good to see you, old man. And then, like, Arcinius looks back and like, they kind of share a moment of greeting. Oh, yes. Yadvol, I thought it might have been your boss going past. I wasn't sure. Yes, these are friends of mine. They are seeking some assistance finding their family. And I thought, who better to help than your family, which has been so helpful to me of late. Yes. Oh, sure. We're happy to help. Whatever you need. And he's like, is she all right? Is she going to live? I don't really want to see the little ones to see, a passing. I don't mean to be rude at all. She's okay, right?
Of course she's going to live. We're doing our best.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Now, what are we gonna do about that one over there? And he points to the body that you set by the fire.
Well, that's what I was hoping to ask. Do you have any plans to head up the river anytime soon, north, towards Beorn's land?
Oh, well, no, I'm afraid to say we've been coming from the north. That's where we picked up those dwarves. Far north of the Bjorns. You're not going to tell the big one that we passed by without stopping.
Well, my responsibilities lie with Sin and finding her kin going south. So we need to have my kinsman going north, and I was hoping you would know possibly a boat or a ferry going north.
No, not. I mean, eventually we'll bring our trek back up, of course. But no, we've got a ways to go south still before we return. And then you hear a clearing of a throat, and Inglud stands up, and he says, I am traveling east. I am from Woodland Hall. Are you familiar? And he looks over at you, Medwin. And I think you would be.
Yeah, I don't go there often, but I know the place.
If you would wish it, I can take your friend with me. And I can ensure that she is returned to Bjorn. It might take some time. Might not be as fast as a barge, but I could do this for you, if you wish.
That would be a huge service. Very helpful, yes. I wish I could do it myself, but Bjorn has charged me with their safety, and I cannot return just yet.
And he just nods, and I understand. Yeah. Duty is duty. Yes.
And I turn back to the others, and it seems like we won't be able to return Baron anytime soon. I should go dig a grave.
Do Bjornings tend to return home for burial?
Well, it's always good to be buried with your people, if possible. But practicality is practicality.
We shall make him a spot worthy of his station.
And Medwin kind of laughs about that because he knows Baron was a young guy who didn't really, have much to his name. That's why he left. But he does nod in appreciation.
And she meant it well, is
Yeah.
Agda's going to circle back around as kind of Medwin and Edda are having this side conversation. Agda's going to circle back around to Inglud. If I might also ask a favor while we're asking such things.
You may ask it, but I might refuse.
Yeah, well, yes. And she'd sort of been as behind her as she can fit this warg head. She was sort of holding it because there were the kids around. And then she'll kind of bring that out from behind her. So this is a bit of an honor request to return that they completed their task, and this is the evidence that will give them the honor for the task they completed. If we're going to keep on the southern path, I don't really want to keep dragging this around as far as we go. Might you take that with you as well?
Yeah, he looks at it, and you know, a little bit of, like, he hasn't really smiled, but you can definitely see his eyebrows raise at it. A mighty trophy. This is for the one I carry. This is what is her name?
And then she'll share
Grimhild.
She'll go through her notes and
right.
figure it out.
Yeah, Grimhild. Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah.
Agda's got it written on her palm that she checks.
Grimhild is her name. Yes.
Yes. I believe I have room in my boats. Yes.
Would it be okay if I put it there now? I do believe that they might want the little ones to be able to come back to the warmth of the fire, and this would might start a few nightmares, as it were.
Be sure to wrap it. I leave in the morning. I do not want various critters and things to climb into my boat to eat it.
Fair point. And so Agda will take some cloth and wrap it and drop it in the boat and be glad to be not carrying this warg's head any further.
Could Medwin
yeah,
possibly, perhaps, perform a hunting test to try and clean out the head as best as possible to embalm it?
Yeah, go ahead. I think that makes sense.
Medwin, should the head go with Grimhild, or should it be buried with Bjorn?
It goes with Grimhild. It is her token back home.
She did not kill this creature, though.
She fought it, and she lived. The creature is dead. She will tell the story as it happened.
If you're sure.
As for my test, that is a failure. Barely. 13 under 14.
Okay. You clean it up a bit, but maybe in the process you kind of damage it somewhat. It still looks fine, and obviously it's already taken tons of wounds and slashes, and but you kind of cause a little bit of harm in the process of also trying to make it more suitable for travel. So maybe like you break a tooth off or something like that as you're sort of shifting the jaws around. Agda, while you're like placing this down into the boat, you can see that there are various like crates and sacks and things like trade goods of some kind. Some of them glistening, you can see in the light. You can give a perception test if you would like while you're over here.
Awareness?
Awareness, sorry.
No worries.
This isn't D&D.
Oh, no.
We have perception in Coriolis too, punk.
No, that is an I, actually.
Wow. Okay. I Sauron.
Yeah. I am not particularly aware, so I'm just rolling a straight D12.
Okay. You hear the sounds of something along the water's edge, and then like scuffling as you look over towards to try to see where the sounds were, and all you see is a handful of bushes shifting and moving, and then the sound disappearing, as if there was something nearby. But you didn't catch what it was.
Better not be another warg around. And so, like, as she's sort of like putting it down, she just sort of like unwraps the cloth a little bit. It better not be another one of you wargs, because this is what we'll do to you. And she kind of holds the head up, right, and kind of like covers it back up again, and then puts it back in the boat.
Okay. So the two of you are over by the boats. What's CALVAIN up to, Mr. Elf?
Now that we're a bit settled, might I hear that melody you were playing earlier?
Oh, well, to be fair, I've heard, the stories, of course, of your people. What I'm trying to say is, my music is more like a pop folk ballad per se. It doesn't carry with it a whole lot of grandiosity. It's a song for the people. For my people. Not that you're not people. Of course you're people. Oh goodness, you did. Oh god. Sure.
And then he just starts playing. And it
Playing
sounds
Bob
like
Dylan?
and he's basically just like plucking. It's just like old timey kind of like finger plucking. And he's singing relatively like bawdy lyrics, but then he changes them mid stride as he looks up at you and feels uncomfortable. And so he'll change it to something else. It almost sounds like an edited, like a movie that was on like network television that had
Like
tons
a
of cuss words in
radio
it.
edit.
But it got edited, and that's kind of what it becomes.
Yeah. Yes. Get these mother backer snakes off me, mother backer barge. You see.
I'm just imagining all the filler notes as he's trying to come up with another word.
Right.
It's like ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
We were watching a movie earlier and it replaced it with like Mother Father was like the replacement
Yes,
that
my
they
mother,
did.
father, barge. Yes, it was my mother's and father's barge, so it makes perfect sense, you see. It's a song about parentage. Yes. Oh, goodness.
It sounded wonderful, but is this how you intended?
Of course, if you think it sounds good, then I intended it that way indeed. Yes. Of course. The part you didn't like, though, those were accidents. Those were, slips of the tongues and such. Yeah. Ah, well. An elf likes my music. Haha. Could you make sure when my wife comes back, you say that loud enough so that she can hear it? Because she's never going to believe me if I tell her that you said that my music was good. Because she tells me all the time it's not. She says, oh, quit it, you're making my ears bleed. And, that happened once. It was one time, and I don't even think it was my fault. I think she got like a bug in her ear or something. Anyhow, yes, do you have anything to trade? That's what we do. Of course, we've got furs, we've got foods, we've got all sorts of smoked. Oh, where is that little fella?
And he's like looking around.
Oh, if you see a little fella moving around, Burgle, he's, what a fine fisherman he is. Oh, he doesn't really like people, though, especially strangers. Once you get to know him, and he gets to know you. Not that he really gets to know many people at all. He's much better. And then, so we've got some of that. And then, speaking of dwarves, we got all sorts of fancy little dwarf weapons and metals and things. Oh, we got ourselves a scavenger. He's off that way.
And he points like to the west a bit. And you can see that there's like another small fire.
He's not one for, social, exchanges, so to speak. I don't even know if he speaks. He says words and he grunts and things like that. But, he got some great finds, what they are. Polish these up. Oh, they're going to fetch a fortune. Yeah, and all you want to do is some foods and supplies too, so, we had plenty of those. Mr. Bjorning fellow, we got some of your mead too. Yeah, if you want a taste of home.
I would love some.
Here.
And I just like wipe off the warg blood on my, the bottom of my shirt and pants, and I sit down around the fire.
Okay. What about like Sin? What's Sin up to?
Sin, once she sees that, friends with Arcinius, basically she's been keeping to herself with very much the design of, like, letting everybody be in better spirits because she is going to pepper this guy with questions, but with our, where did they go? When did they get on the barge? What direction did they leave? Did they pay for passage? Like, how did they pay? Who paid? Basically, she's peppering him with questions and letting other people get him to a good state.
Okay, so you want to just like start throwing questions at him now?
Primarily where he went. Like, that's our main question.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes. Oh, sorry. I got so distracted. There's so many things going on. It's a far more excitable night than the past few nights. I can tell you that. That's why we're packing up and leaving tomorrow, you know. So yes, Vidar and Noel, they paid well. They paid passage, and they were well behaved. The old one even gave the little ones some toys and things. Oh God, you should see them. They won't leave them alone now. They've had them for about a week, and little Dovey, she's got this thing. It's like this colorful little cube. You move and mix it around. You throw all sorts of lights all over it. It's an amazing feat of craftsmanship. You dwarves. Oh, hats off to you. I'm not wearing a hat, but if I had one, I'd take it off for you because it's quite impressive. Yes. Quite impressive. Yes.
Darn, all are very impressive.
Yes, the boy, boy's not the right word. He's twice my age, of course, but that's what Noel kept calling him, of course. He was, I think Seva talked to him more than I did, but from what she told me, he was sad. That's the word. She found him on the waterfront all the time, kind of watching the currents pass, that sort of thing. Kind of had a morose sort of feel to him. Kept talking about his ancestors or something. What's his name? Doran, something like that, Anyhow, yes. Just sort of gazing into some sort of magic lake or something, seeing crowns and signs and what to do with your life. And he's just like, he lost his wife. He's got no direction, that sort of thing. And maybe if he does it again, he'll get a direction too. Maybe he'll build a city or something. I didn't really listen too much to it. I'm the business side of it, So, no, she didn't really talk too much, She grumbled mostly. There's a lot of grumbling there. Yes. I'm sorry. What was your question?
Like where did they disembark? Right here?
Oh, here. Oh, yeah, they were right here. Oh, about a week ago or so, I think it was.
About a week ago. And they left on foot?
Yes, sure they did. They had a pony with them, but neither were riding. There was more for, the old equipment and such, stacking in supplies and things. But it was the two of them and their pony. They went off that way, I think, southwestward, across the Vales, the West Nethers. So... They were bound for somewhere important, they said. Super important things. Very important. That's what they kept telling me, how important they were,
Uh-huh. All right. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, more than happy to help. The brother, I said before, he does not like the water much. I've never seen someone so sick before on a boat. I've had people get sick, but never quite that sick. I thought dwarves were sturdy folk. No offense. No,
Bizarre is, he is my brother. He is, I was worried that perhaps he might not be alive, but if he is not just alive, but getting sick off of boats, that is encouraging.
Oh, he was far better when he got on land. I think it was just the rock of the boat.
He's very delicate.
He like I said, he was doting on the old one though. Fetching this meal, that meal, telling all sorts of stories about how great she was. She made this thing, that thing. She made some, what is it? What did she make? Oh, she made some sort of axe, apparently, that cut off an orc's head. Apparently, an orc with a name. I didn't know orcs had names, but what was it called? Azig, Azug, Azugadu. Did all sorts of names and such. And some fancy armor that she made or tools. She makes all sorts of things, Anyhow, but apparently she's very good at what she does. And honestly, I have to agree. The toys she gave the little ones, they're exceptional. Oh yes, like something you only dream about, really. Yeah.
Did they pay with coin or something else?
Well, they paid with something coin approximate, of course. Some nuggets and things like that. Special little precious metals and a couple jewels and things. They were I'll be honest with you, they overpaid a bit, but they were very friendly. So, they were insistent. And who am I to say no? But they, first class ride for them, the comfiest pillows and all sorts of things like that.
And they left a week ago. Is that?
Oh, about that, yeah. Yeah.
She kind of looks to the west party like, what? We were heading.
So let's take a look at the rest of the party. So yeah, CALVAIN, what'd you say? Sorry, I overspoke.
Oh, just speaking of the good news that they brought. Then we rest here and follow the trail.
You've been camped here for a week. How much longer do you plan on camping here?
Oh, not much longer. No. Oh, we were camping here for a little over a week, but they just left about a week ago. They needed a day or two to get their ground legs underneath them, And then a few folks came by, got some trading here and there, and then they left. I think we were maybe 2 or 3 days before they departed. And we're leaving pretty soon, to be honest with you. It's been quiet here, if not for Ingrid here and Burgle and that weird fella from the mountains, we probably would have left a day or two earlier, but they came by yesterday, each of them different directions, Burgle from the south, old Ingrid from the east, and I forget what that fella, I don't even know if he has a name, he just kept saying Tig, so we just called him Tig at that point, really. But yeah, we've done our trading here, but we got to keep heading south, always on the move. We always like to be on the move.
I believe we're in pretty poor condition right now. Would it be too much of an imposition if we shared your camp for a day or two?
No, I'm afraid we can't have that. No. I'm just kidding. Of course you can. Yeah, our fire, our tents there. Well, not our tents. There's people that already claim those. But the fire you can take. Yeah, sure. Unless you want to buy a tent. Then I've got an array I can show you. Well, not an array. Like 2,
What is the minimum amount required for an array, if not 2?
Oh, I think at least 4, right? Yes, because I think a couple is 2, 3 is a few, and then 4 is an array.
4 is
right?
an array.
Yeah,
okay.
Like 7
I've
is
always
several.
wondered where the few is.
I'm self-taught. I don't even really know how to read very well, but it's all right here. I'm a quick thinker.
You're taught more than I was.
Well, look at that.
So, do we think that, and Ida's kind of like turning to Sin in the group, would it be faster if we got on the barge and went south, or do we think we should keep doing this by foot?
That's an excellent question. I will be honest, I am much better songwriter than I am an outrider. Medwin, CALVAIN, do you have any... What do your instincts say?
If we go too far south with the river, then we would have to cross through the Lorien, which would require permission. I would not... It would be easier to cross north of it. And if we follow in their footsteps, there's a chance maybe they've camped for a few days somewhere. We could stumble upon them before they reach their destination.
Oh, that's a good point. Following in their footsteps. We would not be able to do that if we take the river. I was just trying to think of how to make up time, but that's a good point. Need to follow the footprints. Ida wants to sort of go over towards where Seva took the kids.
Sure. Yeah, she's right on the bank, right underneath like this long awning that has been set up. And you can see they've laid down planks over top of some of the sandier parts of the bank. And they have like a little table set up there and a lantern, very small. And she's sitting there and the kids are kind of playing around. The young one, like the youngest kid, you can see he's got some little toy that he keeps kind of spinning and then it rotates back again. It's like this little figure and it's basically like a very rotund looking metal figure with like a looks like a crown on top. He's got this big old belly, and he just spins this way. And as it does, like when he lets it go, it just starts weaving around again, and it's like chopping with this little this little axe in one hand. And then the girl, who's a little bit older, maybe about 4 or so, you know, in terms of human years, and you can see that she's playing around with some kind of cube and glass and like holding it up to the lantern, which then like casts these different colored lights here and there about, and they seem quite taken with it. The wife Seva, the mother, I should say, Seva, she's just kind of sitting there watching them and like asking them questions, and they're not paying attention to her.
Sure.
So as you approach.
Yes, Seva, is it?
Yes, Seva. Yes, pleasure to meet you. Seva here. Davi, say hello. Say hello. Davi. Davi. Lad. Do you have kids?
No. But they seem to be quite enthralled with those toys they've got.
Oh, yes, the old one, the cranky one, gave them a pair of toys. Honestly, it was great for a while, kept them quiet, out of the way. Now they won't put them away now, though. You know, they won't do their chores, they won't do their tasks. They keep playing around with them. Yeah. They've got the manners of goblins. You hear that? Look at, they don't even look at me. I could call them, you're a goblin. Yeah, she doesn't even look. Not even paying attention.
But to be that age again and have the most important thing on your brain is trying to solve the toy puzzle, if only for those days.
I never solved puzzles when I was young. I was dutiful. Listened to my mom. I did everything she says. Washed, cooked, cleaned. Gutted the fish and all things. When I was that age, I worked so hard. I went up the river. Went down the river, both ways, against the current, as one does.
Oh, through the ice even, I'll bet.
Oh, let's not go crazy. The river doesn't ice. Well, it does a little bit up north, I suppose. Anyhow.
Yeah, makes it even harder.
What can I do for you?
Oh, just wanted to share my apologies that we came in with everything's been put away. At this point,
if it's put away, let's just put it to bed. Let's not talk about it anymore. We've seen people arrive with worse things, to be honest with you. So,
well, I was worried a bit there for a bit that we might show up here with a bit more wounds and scrapes and whatnot, but we came out all right.
Sure. Now, we're not healers per se. I saw you brought Arcinius with. He is a fantastic hero. We sell some supplies though, so if you've got some herbs and things, poultices, bandages, that sort of thing, we can get those to you. We packed most of our things away because we're planning for an early start in the morning, but I can unpack them if you've got needs. We can certainly trade some things for you. More than happy to.
We've packed up some things, but it might not be a bad thing. Did you talk much? You mentioned that Nal was an old cranky one. Did they say much of anything when they were here?
Well, they were friendly, ish. They were polite, they helped around the boat, and good workers, both of them, of course. Fixed a few things. We've had some busted tools and things that they were happy to fix for us, and cooked a few times. So that was nice. Gave me, me and Yadva some time to ourselves, looked after the little ones. We got to know them pretty well over some times. But they didn't really talk too much about what they were doing. They were just, traveling, going somewhere important. That way. And she just kind of points west, is essentially, they said they had things to do, they had what's the word, smithing to learn or something or some such. Apparently this No's very big deal to your people, I hear.
She is, very much so.
Who did Vidar say? Something about, like Telchar or Narvi or something, as good as those. Apparently those must be very good smiths, I suppose. But she's right there with them.
Indeed.
According to Vidar, of course.
And is to be believed. Very much so.
Sure.
Would he seem to be hanging on all right? He's been quite in the grief of late.
Yes, he told me about that. She kind of leans closer. His wife had passed on. Very, very sad. Very sorry to hear that. Yes. Yes, he didn't tell us that initially, but a couple times when we park the barge for a night or two, I'd catch him on the river, just kind of looking out, all sad like and such. Got a little nervous. I thought he was going to jump in. He didn't, though. He said he told me a story, and I don't know if I believe it, about one of your folk. Durin, they said. Yes, Durin. Durin, that's the one. Anyhow, he said, he told a little tale about how Durin was wandering about, listless and unmoored, and looked into a mirror. Or no, that's not right. Looked into the mirror. There we go. It's like a lake or something.
Yes, it is.
Well, he looked into it and he saw some sort of vision, and it told him what to do, And so Vidar says he was feeling unmoored and he was feeling listless and didn't know what to do with his life now that his dear wife had passed. So, yeah, he wanted to look into some sort of water. This mirror. Yes. It's not easy to say, is it?
Oh, he also wants to do that. He wants to look in the same mirror that Durin did.
And he said it's somewhere up there in the mountains. I couldn't tell you. We never get that close. It's a dangerous place, I hear, Mm-hmm.
No, that's quite a storyteller. That it's the brother of my friend there.
Well, to be honest, the stories were a little. They were workmanlike, but lack the drama, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean to insult. No.
No, that's okay. Is it about bedtime for the little ones?
Well, normally they're just going to stay here until we go to bed. We tried to set them down, but it never works. You little rascals, you goblins. Ever since they got these things, I swear, they just can't keep their faces out of them. They bring them to dinner, when we sit around and listen to old Advil play his music. Well, they got those out too, constantly distracting them. I got to tell you, I liked them at first, but now I don't know. Anyhow,
I was just going to offer. I don't have a whole lot to trade, but if they've been a bit obsessed with those things, I could perhaps tell them a right bedtime story and get them right off to sleep for you, if that might be helpful.
Well, you can certainly give it a try. Yes, it's got to be riveting if you're going to get their attention off of those things.
Can I give a lore roll and see if my storytelling is better than Vidar's?
You want to tell some sort of history tale?
It's going to be let's roll the dice and see what how this turns out.
Okay, give it a rip.
Mel, you did not have enough confidence before rolling the dice and it showed.
Yeah, that is a fail.
Okay.
So this is going to be it is definitely like a genealogical story kind of a thing that should work just fine. And she is doing the voices and doing all of the things. And
they're not paying attention. They're just playing around with their toys, for sure. Okay.
And she had told herself that I can tell a story better than Vidar. I've got this, and that face that you're making is exactly the face that Seva is giving me.
Yeah. So we'll shift from that little spot. What is EDDA up to? What has she been doing?
EDDA has been making Grimhild as comfortable as she can with Arcinius, as well as if Medwin does start digging, she would assist, or if that's something we're planning to do for the morning, she'd probably...
He would wait till daytime, I think.
Yeah, so then she'll be just kind of whittling something to eventually place upon the grave. She's trying to she took a piece of wood and she's trying to carve him a bear to kind of mark a small one. It's not very large, but to mark his gravestone.
Okay, so you're making like a little thing. Okay, give it a craft roll if you want to see how good it is. It'll be fine. It's just to see if it's like particularly exquisite. Oh, that's a good roll right there.
Yeah, and it's success, 18 over 15.
Okay, so yeah, you spend a little time. Do you think it's like driftwood? Like you just get a piece of
probably
wood?
just driftwood.
Okay, and so like you park down on like this little log everyone's been sitting on, and like you and then there's Ingemar who's doing sort of the same thing, but he's like looking over at you, and you're just super fast, and like you're suddenly like, and he's moving kind of slow, and like his stuff is fine looking, but it's not nearly as quick and not nearly as precise, and you can tell that he's like trying to every now and then kind of mimic what you're doing, as if he's trying to learn a bit about like the craft of the carvings that you're putting in. And then at a certain point, he just stops and he says, that is very good. Do you work with wood very often?
Sometimes. I tried basket weaving at Arcinius's and it did not go well. But wood has been the most responsive to me.
I would think stone or rock.
Second to stone. But surprisingly, wood as well.
I see. Well, there are many people from where I am from, Woodland Hall, who would look at that in awe and envy. Yes.
Thank you. This is going to be for... And she kind of nods towards the body.
Why a bear?
He's of the Bjorning people. And they... appreciate, at least from what I've heard from Medwin, they're very fond of bears.
I think this is true, yes. I have not had many dealings, but I've had some, yes. Neighbors to the north.
Yes.
You see, what was this, I don't mean to pry. It's not often I see a dwarf here, such mixed company. You are here and you are carving a gravestone for a Bjorning. That is very curious.
It is, I do tend to favor my own people, but Medwin has come to surprise me time and time again. And if he holds someone in esteem, then I have grown to as well.
Good. It is good. Yes.
Don't tell him that, though.
No, I will not. And like that's the first time you've seen him like kind of crack a smile, and as he chuckles at that. Otherwise, he's been fairly like his face is sort of fairly downcast. Like I would not say anything, but it is very good. You have honored his people well. Yes.
Thank you. What brings you this way?
And he looks back towards the boats that we had seen. There's a couple little boats that are kind of strung together, and only one of them, like two of them, are like filled with goods, and then there's like the third one, presumably the one that he is in, and he says kind of, a little terser. He's like trade, and doesn't really elaborate. Just as trade.
I see. Well, it has been a pleasure meeting you. And then she'll kind of inquire a little bit about like what he's carving. And then I think at a point she'll hear Agda trying to lecture these children to sleep. And she'll laugh and she'll be like, that is my sister trying to tell bedtime stories. I see her tactic has not improved.
He kind of grins at that. My brother was the same, yes? He used to tell me stories. At least, he used to when I was much younger, yes. Not good at telling stories either, though.
Yes, she means well, but she likes facts, and sometimes that's not the best way to lure a child to sleep.
Oh, no.
For my brother, it was, he told big tales, tall, big, scary tales, about the wood. And I would stay up dreaming nightmares and things. And then my father would come in and I would cry in the middle of the night, and then my father would come in and tell me to be quiet, that they are not true. But, kids, yes.
Nightmares aren't exclusive to children, unfortunately. There are things in life that changes you, for better or worse. We hope for better, and if it is worse, that we hope we can improve from it.
You see his head is just nodding along with what you're saying. He's listening pretty carefully, but you also see him peering off across the river, into the darkness as you're saying this, and he's not in. You are very wise. I am sorry. EDDA, was that
EDDA.
your name?
Yes.
Well met.
Well met. And then if he kind of dismisses her at that point, if she's finished with her carving, she'll tuck it away for the morning, and then she'll go over to Agda to try and assist with her storytelling.
Okay. So we see the second sister comes in and tries to liven it up.
Yeah, and EDDA kind of does so like he said, with his brother. Not so much scary stories, but more so trying to awe the children of these fanciful tales of dragons in the mountains and
tales of smog.
Yeah.
Edda, I've got this. We weren't there yet. We've still got 200 years before that's going to happen.
Oh, no, we could go ahead and skip past it. Yes, oh, yes, please, Edda, yes, tell him about the dragons. Yes, that's good.
And you see the little boy, when you say dragons, he's huh? Dragon? And then you see the little sort of dwarf king figure spin around.
Dragon! I didn't even know he knew how to say the word. I don't even know where they got it from.
Yes, come here. We'll act out the story. Now,
He comes
follow
waddling
me
over,
as we
falls
go.
on his face, gets up again.
Yeah, and she'll help hold him up. Now we have to go on our adventure. And we'll go and we'll kind of march around the fire as she waves Agda to also grab the other kid. Come on, Agda. Let's tell them the story you used to tell me to go to sleep. The fun one.
No, you. Clearly. It's your... Here you go. You tell the story.
So yeah, we see the two of you entertaining these children. The girl a little more reluctant, but she'll eventually get involved. But the kid, once you start talking about dragons and adventures and like fighting dragons, he's all about that. Okay, what about the rest of you? What's Medwin been up to? Let's say.
So Medwin first came into this camp tired, exhausted, bruised, and beat up. But now it seems like they've got a place to rest. There's a warm fire next to him. He's got warm meat in his belly, and his spirits are very much lifted at this point. As he drinks a little bit more, he gets a little bit more and more boisterous. And I think as Edda is going around telling the story to the kids around the fire and they're acting it out, he just starts playing like a hype man. He's just cheering for her or adding sound effects, to try and just assist her, not necessarily take over storytelling or anything, but just try to make it a bit more enthusiastic.
Okay. So we see the kids and we see the dwarves start moving back towards the main fire and and then a half drunken Medwin gets up a little bit looser, maybe some of the blood not as visible. And so it just becomes this big grandiose thing, and even England has to lift his feet up as the kid tries to crawl underneath him like he's going through a tunnel, and it just becomes this little sight. Sin, what about you? Are you still pestering Yadval with questions, or is
the conversation with Yadval has continued, but it's no longer about Bethar. She's actually gonna help him with his radio edit, and I'm having to make a song for this.
Okay.
Helping with the
Start
lyrics.
jamming.
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck becomes hug, and shit becomes stuff, and that kind of thing. She's helping with his radio edit lyrics.
Sure. Give us a song roll. Sure.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, take a bonus die with like him helping, with like all the kids playing around, the storytelling that's happening. Yeah, give us a little. Give us a little roll.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a small roll.
Yeah. So lots of stuff happening. Yeah, get a bonus die just from. There's other things happening that seem to be
it's just a
about
good
jovial.
vibe. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't show
Okay.
up for me. I'm not sure if it
Great
did for you.
success.
Great.
Success. That's a success with one bonus die. So what we can
Cool.
say, what I'll say is, if anyone is down on hope, grant yourselves a hope, because this feels like a
yes.
really nice moment. Everyone's feeling like pretty. You actually have talked to someone who has specifically met your brother. You've met some like friendly folk. All this type of thing.
Awesome.
Everyone's singing, laughing, and so it does feel like, especially after what happened earlier today, this horrible incident with the wargs and like the passing of one of these two. Even Grimhild, you can see, is like awake and drinking and kind of listening in, and like she's still injured, but she's still nonetheless like paying attention to what's happening.
I think narratively what the addition of hope means for Sin is that she's kind of rejuvenated about finding her brother, because she values life and the living of life even more at this stage, because of this moment.
And then CALVAIN, is there anything else that you think you would have been doing this evening?
Yeah, I'd simply brew up a tea, find the quiet spot Burgle's sitting at, and just offer it to him.
Okay, give me a courtesy roll as you try to approach this little shadow off to the side. And you can tell like he's got like a bedroll as you start to approach that's hidden behind one of these bushes, and a handful of little pieces of equipment. But I would take courtesy, and if you're bringing a cup of tea, take a bonus die for that. All right.
I failed with an 8.
Okay. You get close, but then you see darting away from you, super fast. You almost mistaken him for one of the kids. He's so small, so tiny. And there's like, he's kind of covered in clothes. He's got like this sort of not a particularly clean or dashing looking vest, but he's got a vest with all sorts of little dangles and hooks and stuff on it, like he's got fishing supplies. But you see him quickly dart off into the night, and he does not seem to turn around. But you can tell a very small, short stature, shorter than dwarfs.
I'll drop the tin next to where he's laying and head back to the group.
Okay. So we'll say the night progresses. At a certain point, everyone starts to drift off to their various tents. And we'll say everyone sleeps for the night. And if anyone needs to do some endurance recovery, we can call this a prolonged rest in a relatively safe environment.
Awesome.
And yeah, the night will pass without issue. Morning comes, and the sun comes up over the Mirkwood to the east, and you can see it begin to shine down, cuts through this fog that has built atop the Anduin. You smell someone cooking already, and you can see that the fire that you all were singing and dancing around, talking around the night before, has a cook pot over top of it, and there's various pieces of fish that are frying up in it. Looks like a couple herbs have been thrown inside, and like Arcinius is standing next to there, and like throwing this bit of herb, like this little sprig and such, and like he and Yadval and a few others are kind of talking. And at a certain point, Yadval will say, "We'll go up to, of those dwarves, which one of you has the best craft score, like best craft skill? You think?"
I've got
Jewel pips.
it's favored, and I have 3.
Okay.
I have 3, no favor. So
Then
Okay.
Mel's the best.
Okay, so somewhere wherever like Agda's sitting, if you're eating something, like Yadval will come up, and you can see he's carrying like this ugly looking sack. It's like it's got patches in it, holes in it.
And he says, I don't, if you don't, could I bother you for just one moment, please? So we acquired some special goods, and I was just curious if you could take a look at them and, maybe just give me a basic appraisal of their value. And if you're interested, of course, in buying them yourself, then we can make some sort of arrangement, some sort of deal. But the strange fella, the Tig,
yes,
he brought them to us, and we were not. They looked good, metals and things. But then there's like other things in there, and I'm not sure exactly. Did we get something great, or is it just another person's trash? And so he opens up the sack, and you can see inside metals and metals and metals. But he also pulls out like these relatively rusted looking like swords, daggers, a helmet, stuff like that. And all of them are immediately clear to you of dwarven make. Like all these things. And there's other things that are like chunks of metal and like raw ore and such coming out. But everything else, he's pulling out this stuff that is clearly of dwarven make. Now it's old. You can tell just from looking at it, like it's weather worn. But it certainly looks like of high make. If you would like to make a craft test to try to assess more about it, you could absolutely do that.
So, Yadval, who did you say you got this sack of goods from?
It's that strange fella. He's still over there, I think. I heard him moving about this morning. He's perfectly, well, I wouldn't say friendly, but he's no, I wouldn't say harmless either. He's
an odd one.
There's odd ones, and then there's that fella. Like I said, I don't think he speaks much. Anyhow, but yeah, he brought them.
Maybe he's what I saw moving around when I was down by the boat.
Could be him. It could be Burgle too. Like I said, Burgle. If it gets to know you, Burgle's a charming fella, absolutely charming, and the best fisherman you're gonna find all along the Anduin. I swear to you, he brings us the biggest catch you could possibly imagine. But he doesn't like bigger folk than him. And the problem with him is everyone's bigger than him. So he doesn't really like anyone,
Well, when you see the world from a certain perspective, it's a bit difficult to see it otherwise. But I rolled a great success as I am rifling through this tattered bag.
Yeah, great success. Okay, so great success. That's as a bonus success, so we can just give you like extra information. And so I would just say you would be able to identify with confidence various designs and makes that are not modern. Like it's not the types of things that you have seen at Erebor of late or the Iron Hills of late. It certainly doesn't look like anything Blue Mountain dwarves have brought over, because that doesn't necessarily seem to be on par with some of the stuff that you've seen. This has a much older quality to it. You would give it an age of maybe a couple hundred years or so, but it has a very distinctly dwarvish feature to it. If you had to guess, this looks like the types of works that you've seen in some of the vaults, family vaults and such in Erebor, of those who fought in the Battle of Azanel Bazaar, which is like outside the gates of Moria.
This is, this is quite interesting things that you've got here. Are you looking to perhaps part with them?
I felt kind of guilty because he only wanted foods and things, and I can't give him too much foods because we can eat the foods. But at the same time, I didn't want to take advantage of him. I have a reputation to maintain, You can't be swindling customers, You just can't do that. Part with him. You're interested?
I do.
What are you
collect
offering?
Some things, and so Agda has tried hard to manage her face because she is a treasure hunter, and so recognizing the worth of this and then wanting to turn around and get it from him. She is sort of managing that a little bit. Perhaps not being entirely honest as to just how valuable they are, because now she wants to buy them.
Ah, okay. So now you're trying to swindle him a little bit. Okay. Okay. Give me a persuasion test, maybe.
Okay. These are things that belong in. These are things that belong behind dwarven vaults, not being traded for food.
Well, and they absolutely could be for the right price, of course, you know.
Yes, it's really trying to go in the angle of like they have a home that they should go in and they shouldn't be out and about.
I hear what you're saying, of course I do, but at the same time, you know, scavenging is a right that all of us have, and, you know, as far as I could tell, there was no one claiming ownership of them. So, you know, I think, you know, I'll give you a discount, of course, you know, a little bit. Friendly. Friends and family discount, we'll call it, you know. But at the same time.
So how'd you do on your roll?
I was looking through my distinctive features just to see if anything...
Okay. What are your distinctive features?
Rustic, proud, and burglary. Though I'm not necessarily looking to steal from this guy. I'm not. No, I was just looking through what I have, but no, I'm not looking to steal from this guy. We'll see how the roll goes. Maybe I'll change my mind.
Okay.
Success, 18 over 16.
Okay. All right. So whatever it is that you say to him and convince him, whatever it is you decide to trade, because I'm sure you have some things on you here and there.
I have an actual good sword, if he would like that in trade.
I was fine to describe trade, like travel goods and such, more of an abstraction. I wasn't going to require you to get rid of your equipment. But yeah, we'll say like whatever it is you're carrying, whether it's various little trinkets and things from Erebor, maybe it's little toys, maybe it's just some raw pieces of like silver and various other precious metals or a jewel or two. Yeah, you can trade them. And then you can add, little did he know, you can add a treasure hoard. So this is basically going to treat this like a treasure hoard of value 5. As you have. Yeah, so there is that.
Wow.
So add them to your sheet. And remember that carrying treasure, it does contribute to load. So just remember that.
Okay. Yep. Good to know. But
you also could split it up at some point too. You could give like 2 to somebody, 3 to somebody.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
You're, Yadval, you are doing the right thing. These are things that belong back in family vaults that glad
it's like
that
looking at a gem as you're saying this, and he said, "Oh, yep, sure, happy to oblige." As he's looking at some random like red gem that you happen to have.
That's the reddest thing I've ever seen. Oh my! Oh well, you know, a happy customer is a returning customer. Oh, I had something there a second ago, but I'll jot it down later. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure Sin can help you with the rhymes in those things. I heard she was doing some good things in your
such a songwriting that night. Oh goodness! I had to earmuff my children every time she started speaking. Oh my goodness, my grandmother was that way too.
Their children weren't even
role playing, Jeff. Not talking about me like in real life.
Your children weren't listening. They had Edda and Medwin were doing a right proper story time with them. They didn't hear a word of it.
So you have yourself this little bag of old dwarven, and none of them is like usable. I want to say it's not like it's an item you're going to pull out, but it's essentially like old dwarven relics, like swords and little pieces of armor, a gauntlet here. Nothing huge. Like you don't have like a big breastplate or anything. All of it's small and manageable. Okay. Morning time. They're breaking down their camp. You can definitely see that Ingrid is loading up the last of his things into his boats. He's making room for Grimhild in his own boat. And you can see Arcinius is like hanging behind with the river folk, and they're talking and such, and he's getting ready to return back to, and so like there's definitely this moment here where everything's breaking down. So is there anything else that you guys wish to do or talk to or accomplish or something like that in this moment before we push on from here?
The next day, Medwin would have taken the time to dig a grave for Baron. Just finding a suitable spot away from the river where it wouldn't flood. If you can't dig that much, then stacking rocks over him, whatever is most dignified.
Yeah, if you go far enough away, you absolutely can start like digging, and then you have the little bear totem that Edda carved up, and maybe even like England, he'll come over and he'll give you a hand, like with the burial and such. Grimhild, and then like Grimhild's there as well, and she's very sad and kind of looking down, and she's got scars, like she's got some scrapes on her faces and things like that. But solemn moment as the sun rises, but you do put him to rest. All right. Anything else?
Simple farewell to Arcinius. We part ways.
Yes, it was a pleasure working with you, sir. My home is open to you anytime.
Maybe we visit on the way back.
I'll put the kettle on. Yes, wonderful. I want to hear all about this adventure you're having here, going to Moria, of all places. Whew, goodness. Yes, I want to hear all about it. Yes.
You might be the first one here, then.
I look forward to it, sir.
So he kind of says goodbye to everybody, but shakes your hand, those of you that shake hands, and then, okay. Anybody else?
Edda will share some words with Ingold as him and Grimhild set out. Basically just advising him of that she would like to meet up again sometime in there, see how he's learned more wood carving techniques to maybe share with her, or maybe some specialties of his people, and if she learns anything new.
He'll say, you are always welcome at Woodland Hall if you are on the east side of the Anduin, in the Chateau of the Mirkwood. Come.
Will you be
Mention
there?
my name. And like he looks down as you say that, and you can tell there's something on his mind, and he just says, I believe I will, whether I want to or not. But that is a tale for another day.
I will take you up on that.
Yes. Well,
It gets better.
Sometimes it does. Yes.
It will.
Good luck to you. And he'll like shake hands, and then he'll get into the boat, and you see he starts rowing back, and you see Grimhild is waving. She's got an arm bandage. Maybe she's like missing half a finger. She has like bandages around as she took quite a few attacks from the warg, and they're just crossing over the river now. Pretty simple. Okay. Anybody else? Anything else? Last call. All right. So then it's time to do journey again, right?
Yay!
Yes. I have my journey cloak.
Is that what that is?
And I don't take travel fatigue.
It's definitely not just to hide my
What?
headphones.
That is not allowed. We're not allowed to take that one anymore. All right. There's a car alarm going off right outside our house right now. It's been going off for a lot longer than you would think on the middle of a Saturday afternoon.
It really has. And it stopped,
very
and then it started again.
Oh
Yep.
no.
Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this going again. So I think you guys should have drawing abilities now. So if one of you wants to figure out the route you want to take, you should be able to draw it now. With the draw tools. We're using Foundry, by the way, if anyone's listening or watching. I don't have the map up.
How
Maybe
does
at some
that
point
look?
we'll try to do some map.
Someone else draw? I'm not.
Oh yeah, I see the white.
I drew a line there. What do you guys think of that? Just following the river, as much as possible, and then crossing?
I
Yeah,
drew
let's
an
go on this.
alternate option as well. Because you had a
Okay, you
double
don't need to
cross.
compete about it, Edda. All right, I drew a
Medwin.
perfectly fine line.
I've reviewed this map as well, and I think if we didn't cross the river twice, that would be the smarter option. You're traveling
You
with three
asked
dwarves.
me to come with you because I know the land, and I know that this is the better crossing.
Well, if you're sure.
Medwin is not sure.
And at least
Right,
you've
so
both
there's-
agreed on the first half of the trip. We follow the river south, and then we follow the river west, and then we decide from there.
Okay, so you guys, so basically what they're going to do is they're heading south for a bit along the Anduin until they see one of the tributaries that's north of Lorien, and they're going to follow the tributary westward a bit towards the Misty Mountains, and then eventually try to skirt around some of the foothills in the mountains to where the Silver Lode, which is the name of the river. Well, that's the name that men basically give it, but it's also the Celebrant and stuff, as that winds up into the Dimrill Dale. You have 3 dwarves with you, so I think all of you are the 3 of you. I'm not gonna nickel and dime you. You know generally where the Dimrill Dale is. None of you have been to Moria. Like we talked about that before. That is not a thing. None of you are gonna have any experiences, but you've heard stories. No doubt you've heard stories, and so it's not like it's a thing that would be impossible for you to find. Okay, so we've got that. Are we doing same roles as before? Same, like ROLES, like same positions?
I believe so, yes.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that we've got Guide is Sin, Hunter is Medwin, Scouts are the sisters Edda and Agda, and then the Lookout is CALVAIN, right? All right.
Yeah, so that's a travel roll for me? Do I roll that first or last?
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll that right now, because that will effectively determine the frequency of the first event.
Awesome. 14 automatic success.
Roll the candy.
Yeah.
Andy, very nice.
Thank
Alright.
you. Sorry, I'm just
Okay,
a
so
play
little
that music
slow
as soon as the
clicking
candy
on
is
shit
rolled.
today.
Which one? Which music? You don't even know what music I'm playing. You know the track. This is spooky journal music. Journey music. That's what this is. This is what I used
we got a
whenever we were
candy,
doing
so-
journeys in first season
Mm-hmm.
and our Waking Memory. This is our journey music for when it was kind of like either going through sad or scary places.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And
Guys
we
are
did just
traveling
have a
through
burial.
post-apocalyptic landscape. There's not happy places to travel through. We just had a nice festive night, and now we gotta modulate moods, Steven. That's how this works, man. All right.
Fair.
So, all right. Let me
It's all
do a thing really
gnarled
fast.
dead forest.
Oh, there's not a whole lot of forest, actually. You're going across the West Nether Vales. It's kind of a spotty plains, in fact. Not a lot of forests. A couple scattered trees and copses and things like that, but no real forests. All right. Let me, you guys take a, I'm just putting it on my lore master map. Okay. So you succeeded, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys can go ahead if you want on your, one of you can take control of the token and just move it down to where the tributary hits the Anduin
Can
itself.
someone not me do that?
It's
Come
done.
out.
Thanks.
Okay. Perfect. So you guys wait around. So we'll say in the morning, you guys wait around. You say your goodbyes. You can see eventually Arcinius with his big walking stick. He did some trading while I was here. So he kind of gave over a handful of like herbs and things he had collected from the swamp. And you can see he's now got some packs and some other stores, replenishing perhaps some of the things that Agda might have used up when she was making the meat and mutton pie. And then, he's got like a pack on. It's like, if you ever seen the cover of like Led Zeppelin 4, it's basically what he looks like right now. And he is just moving his way back north towards the Gladden Fields. Bids you all farewell and good luck. We see, there's for a certain while you can actually see across. You can see enough of the crossing of the of your new woodman trader friend, but eventually the fog, the mist kind of swallows them up, and then they make it to the other side. The barge takes probably the longest to pack up, and you never catch sight of that CALVAIN, of that guy you tried to give the teacup to, but you do notice in the morning, in the same place where that bedroll had been laid, he left behind an empty tin that you had placed. So it's there. Clearly he drank it, but it doesn't look like he remained behind. But you do notice hanging from a small branch in the bushes, there is this beautiful large fish that he just has. It's hanging down like an ornament, from a little bit of twine and a little kind of rusted metal hook that he just left behind. You look around and you notice that the other fire that had been burning a little bit further westward with that strange scavenger fella, that place is abandoned as well. A couple stones linger behind, but they definitely left prior to dawn. But you can see that there are, it's messy as can be, right? It has, there was some food, there's some bones, from some fish bones and things like that. But it looks really, really messy. This is just this scavenger's terrain. It all looks much less clean than even over by the barge, which they cleaned up quite well. Eventually, you travel a bit southward, you see the barge gets ahead of you, and you kind of lose sight of them at a certain point. But you continue moving south a bit along the Anduin. The first day or two, it's relatively simple travel. You hear the Anduin along the side rushing, never too wild, but never too quiet at the same time. Periodically, you see in the water itself, especially on moments when it's very clear, it's almost as if you pass by a handful of old ports or structures as you see these sunken pillars deep beneath the water that don't come back up. But if you're just hovering by the river or scooping up water to drink to refill your canteens, you just see this long pillar with these different grooves in it to suggest it is something of craftsmanship and not a random stone beneath the water. You find occasionally little arrowheads or maybe a discarded oar or a splintered hull of a boat along the shore, but you never see signs of any more recent discarded fare. You don't see any foods, rations. You don't see signs that anybody has been camping along the river. And it becomes pretty clear to you all that you don't think that Vidar and Null traveled southward. When you spoke with Yadval and everything in Seva, they just pointed straight west. And so you realize that at a certain point you didn't quite follow, at least in their footsteps. On the third day or so, as you reach where a tributary comes, this slender river that comes out from the west, and you can tell coming down from the mountains and feeds into the Anduin itself. That's when we have our first event. So I actually tried to speed things up a little bit. I actually pre-rolled a few of these. So I need a hunter. So Medwin, could you give me a hunting test?
Yes, I can, and I'm going to nail it.
Of course you are.
Oh, yes, you are.
With a Gandy.
Hell,
And a sorry.
Success.
yes.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
It was favored.
Balancing
It was
it out.
favored. Ignore the sorry.
Okay. So all of you go ahead and gain 2 fatigue. As on the third day, that's when things start to get a little bit more difficult. As the mist that had mostly localized itself either off to the west in the plains portion or just directly over the water now starts to spread out, and you have a little bit more trouble. Not only that, but the banks become rockier and slippery, and you find yourselves every now and then losing your footing. This thing or that falls and maybe gets washed away in the tributary. And you realize, Medwin, as you're getting ready to make a nightly camp, when you grab your pack, it's lighter than you remember it to be. And you can see that there's a little corner of your pack, wherever it is that maybe you've packed some of the provisions that you were hunting, if you've been setting traps or if you've been fishing, whatever it is that you've been doing, whatever pack that you use to carry that, there's a hole in the side of it, almost if it's been gnawed through in some way. And when you look inside, like all the different equipment, like maybe your fishing lines or maybe your hunting knife, all that's fine. But everything you had is missing. And like all of that fish you caught, all of the rabbits and squirrel that you set traps for, all of that's missing. You can see little bits of blood here and there possibly from when you hunted. But it's very clear to you that something happened to this. And maybe it's from one of the times you fell and everything kind of collapsed out. But as you've been traveling on this third day along this tributary, like fishing has been terrible. Like you just can't get a single thing to bite. And you've seen further away from the river, like rabbits and maybe occasional pheasant disappear or flush out of the grass, but you've had trouble. But you realize now that like a good chunk of the food that you have collected over the course of these couple of days is missing. And whatever maybe you had purchased from Yadval, so at least half of it is kind of gone. And you see the sky is getting overcast. You see thunder and light. You hear thunder. You see lightning on the horizon. So, what do you think Medvin is doing once he discovers it? Do you think he's going to try to push on and just ration what's left? Do you think you're going to try to do extra hunting? Like, do you take responsibility for it? Make excuses?
The
what do you
hole
think?
in the bag looks like it was gnawed through, not cut through, right?
Does, yes.
Yeah. Medwin would absolutely be upfront with the group about it, and he would take full responsibility for it. He would say that normally he tries to keep his bag, hanging from a tree or above the ground, but we're in these rocky plains and he just didn't secure it properly. It won't happen again. He would try to probably ration as best he can, because if there's no game, hunting more is just going to waste more time. So it's better to push through as much as possible. And because he blames himself, he would probably give himself smaller rations as well, to bear the brunt of it.
So that night, as you all camp out along the tributary, now a few miles west of the Anduin, storms roll down over top of you. Thunder, lightning cracking, no fish coming up from the tributary, and you're suddenly eating smaller and smaller amounts of food. And the night is a miserable night. It's the worst night that you've had since before Gladden. And when morning comes, the entire ground is soggy. The river, the tributary seems to have flooded somewhat. And so maybe some of your things that were parked a little too close to the riverbank get caught up and get soggy and wet. So again, all of you take 2 fatigue from that if you haven't already done so. But because you passed, the additional negatives don't transpire. So on this like really soggy morning with stomachs rumbling, I need Sin to give me another travel test as you try to push westward along this flooded tributary.
So Agnes taking the opportunity of like being just drenched to sort of like redo some braids, because it's like easier to kind of braid the wet hair. And so just like trying to make the best of the situation of just like, got a free shower and spruce this up a bit.
Success with the 21.
Okay. You can go ahead and move your token, whoever wants to do that, to the southern. You see that little southern tail on the western side of the tributary? You can put it right on top of that. Okay. As you continue to push westward over the next few days, the tributary gets narrower and narrower. The flooding starts to abate, and still, though, you are struggling to find any game or fish that kind of come out of it. Every now and then you'll see something on the drier parts, or maybe something across southernly the river itself. You can actually see something of larger fare, but everything is fairly small. Like even like the hares, the rabbits you see aren't very big, and so you're struggling to you guys are starting to feel this hunger. I need the lookout or lookouts. So I think that's CALVAIN. Give me an awareness test.
think I was a scout.
Were you scout? My bad. Okay, so then give me EDDA and AGDA then, if that's the case.
So lookout was
Let me
CALVAIN.
double check.
Yeah,
Okay, this is me. Sorry. I mixed up the roles. That's my bad.
Yeah,
How
awareness.
Okay. Dare you? You believe this guy?
And last time he did a lookout
I
test.
failed last
we
time. I
got
was trying
attacked
to
by wargs.
give up my roll. That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
I
good.
believe it's a great success. There we go.
Yeah, you got
you were
this.
given up. Yeah. So you, unlike your traveling companions, haven't had as much difficulty with kind of the slicker terrain. Like your balance, like even the scholarly elf has got much greater grace than 3 dwarves and a broken Bjorning man. Like you are moving without any issue, and that's allowed you to range ahead every now and then, maybe off to the side a little bit to the north, and then even Riverstone step across to the south from time to time to try to get a better sense of it. And it's not so much that you've seen dangers encroach upon you. It's more just like habit and just giving yourself something to do. At one point, you notice to the south side, as you're moving through this tall grass that's running southwesternly, it starts to get, there's a section of it that starts to get very faint, like this, like fainter coloring, thinner here and there. And it's that the coloring of it and the faintness of it is far too straight aligned. It just doesn't make sense to you. Like in the natural patterns of how grass grow, it wouldn't grow quite like this. And as you approach, you put your foot down, and you realize, like, the ground seems firmer all of a sudden, and the footing suddenly seems, it's not sinking into the earth. And as you kneel down and maybe swat away some of the dirt, you realize you're standing on road, some sort of stone, something structured, some portion of the old dwarf road that had been built by the dwarves of Khazad-dûm generations and generations ago. Even though it doesn't connect here and there, you found yourselves this little pathway, and it's running through here like this distant memory and hidden by these high grasses. But your keen eyes, you were able to notice that weird, like, straight irregularity. And all of you are able to walk atop of this. You're moving a little bit faster. It's taking a little less effort than the terrain normally does. Eventually, though, like, the ridge will kind of vanishes into a little like a boggy hollow, but you get several miles. And so this is actually a shortcut. So you get to reduce your journey by 1 day. I'm taking care of that.
Nice.
As you start to approach the foothills of the Misty Mountains. So CALVAIN, let me ask you this. This is the one that you discovered. So, like, you're walking across, like, as you're walking across this, like, old road, this road that has long been in disuse. It is a ruin and a remnant of a bygone time. Like, do you think that CALVAIN sees that, like, as a hopeful thing? Or do you think this is, like, there's a melancholy, is he one of those melancholy elves, like, where you think more sadly about the good times past?
Definitely a melancholy, since my heart is very low. So, yeah, it's very saddened, but just remembering what this once was.
And then the dwarfs, as you all are walking across it, like, there's no doubt in your mind, based upon stories that you've heard, what CALVAIN has shown you, the feel of it underneath your boots, that this was something that your kin made, but it's now been half swallowed by grass and would have been something you probably, none of you would have seen if not for the eyes of an elf. You probably would not have even seen this. So how are the three of you feeling as you, like, walk across this old ruined road of your ancestors? Are you feeling enheartened by it, or is it more like a melancholy kind of feel?
Sin definitely feels like rejuvenated by it, because this feels like an artifact of history to her. It doesn't feel like it's a ruin, but it's a ruin of a life well lived and of a basis for who we are now. So she feels very unheartened.
I would say Agda is, it's that experience of like, we're getting to walk on this. And so, the idea that we do wander, and this is something that, Ed and I both do. And I would say Agda's response to this would be just as she was sort of doing to the, to ill effect, with the human children. She's kind of running through sort of a history of the road and when it was built and who else traveled here. And so that's kind of, and that, I think keeps her mind off of how wet and miserable and hungry, and everything that she's been is, kind of like going through all of the facts and history and all of that, whether anyone else is interested or not, it isn't heartening to her.
To Edda, it feels like coming home. It's, sure, it's not something she's technically seen before, but she's heard so many stories, especially from Agda. And in the back of her mind, it has kind of been like, that big grand adventure that, dwarves talk about. Maybe not as much of like reclaiming, this land, this home that we had. And just the fact that we're getting to go there. And again, going through the facts with Agda just kind of has her uplifted and excited to be here.
Okay. So the elf feels some level of sadness, but the dwarves' spirits are uplifted. I like that. Agda, you can give me a lore test if you like. If you're really starting to think about like historical facts about this old dwarf road, there might be a thing or two I could give you if you wanted.
I would like that. I'm tempted to throw a hope in because proud is one distinctive feature.
Hell yes.
Something you want to know that the elf doesn't know or something like that?
Hell yes.
The elf's going to tell me about my people's history.
So then that is, hopefully that works, right? So there should be 5d6s getting rolled here.
Wow, that's a lot. Dang, girl.
Extraordinary success.
Hell yes.
Agda is proud of dwarf history for sure.
I'll tell you a few things then. You have read or heard stories or tales, whatever, that this dwarf road that you found a small segment of, this intact segment, back in its day when it was in existence, it ran the length of the Dimrill Dale alongside the Silverlode, the actual river here. That is not obviously what your people would call it, but it is nonetheless like what many these days call. But you know that it ran all alongside of it, and that not only that, it extended so far that old ford that you all crossed, like it actually connected all the way up there a long time ago. You know that there are tales, there are stories about various like port towns the dwarves had built once along where the road met the Anduin. And then you think back to maybe seeing some of those pillars in the water, like buried beneath the water. And maybe you've seen little fragments here and there. Now that little bit of connection makes you realize that maybe you saw some of the ruins of those ports along the way. Okay, but yeah, it used to just extend so far out from here, and that even in the vales here, there are various granaries and such that the dwarves would sometimes use to make their food, and it wasn't so much dwarves that were doing the farming, but sometimes it was the men at the vales, and these roads help the expediency of moving some of those goods to and fro. Okay.
And Agda is just relaying all of this to kind of like everyone in the group of just the proud history of dwarves and our accomplishments with this road, and even men help sometimes, I suppose, and just giving all of the
kind of says history. Like, oh, maybe this is the story you should have told the kids yesterday.
I'd perhaps if Medwin had come and been kind of hyping the story when I was telling it, maybe the kids would have been more interested. But, you know, Medwin decided that once EDDA took over, then, okay, now we've got some scene making happening. But, you know, it's all, that was days ago. Today is all about the proud tradition of dwarves and these things that we build, that we lay our feet upon today. And today is a good day. We've made quick progress. CALVAIN, we could not have done this without your keen eyes.
It's great that you remember your history.
It's most important. Did I tell you about the time?
I hope we make history one day, EDDA. Leave some mark behind for our ancestors to find.
We are right now, and I know I let my jealousy get hold of me sometime, but you know those children back there, they're gonna remember the story of the dragon, and who else but you would have been the one to tell them about the dwarves and the dragon, and Medwin doing all of the, you know, play acting along behind it. Said we are making stories, and we are making history, and we are sharing those tales out to those we pass along, and this is the legacy we leave.
As long as my mark is with yours, that's all I care about.
EDDA squeezes her sister's arm.
So you have a much better night a few days later. It's drier, doesn't rain any longer. Even though you don't have as much food, you move less that day. So that with that shortcut, you only take 1 fatigue for this stretch of the journey as opposed to 2. And then I will need Sin to go ahead and make another travel test.
Okay. So we're at 3 fatigue now?
Yeah, since for this journey.
Yeah.
For this journey.
You might have had
I'm up to
left over
5
from
total.
before.
Yeah, I'm at 4 total.
Okay. All right. So yeah, give me another travel.
12
Gandy
on yeah.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So, so as you start pushing up the foothills, the tributary that you've been following for a bit starts to disappear every now and then. In between these shards of limestone that start to jut out in different sections in ways that are not the easiest to traverse. And you find yourself slowing down a bit as you start moving up the mountains themselves. The weather is at bay, so you're not really having any issues there, but it's just harder terrain. Foothills of the Misty Mountains into the mountains themselves, and you're trudging upward as much as you are trudging westward. Those of you who dwarves, you know that the Dimrill Dale, like where the Miramir is a valley, so you're climbing up to eventually, hopefully, dip back down. But nonetheless, you start to feel it a little bit more. Maybe the last few days with not as much food, maybe that's weighing on you a bit too, but your legs start to get a little heavier. I need the scouts, so I think this is the sisters, to go ahead and roll an explore test. And
So
whoever
explore
is...
or scan?
It's explore.
Okay.
Scouts always roll explore. And... you guys, if you look at the map, you can move your token just east of that little lake. That lake obviously is the Miramir. You guys haven't quite reached that specific hex, but you're 1 hex away effectively. So that's to give you some orientation. How did the sisters do?
EDDA failed again.
EDDA got a great success.
Okay. So you all, as you're, a few more days of traveling up these foothills, they get more difficult, and eventually the two of you, since you're in your native terrain, your native habitat, you start trying to find a good path forward. As you've been struggling here and there with some of the rock growth, and you're keeping your distance obviously from Lorien. So like you're maybe not taking the most direct path, but the safest path from creating unwanted attention from the elves to the south. And the line that you took as you were climbing up the foothills looked, at least at midday, like it was a good path. It was fairly shallow. It was reasonable. There was nothing to suggest that like the ground was unstable. But about an hour in, and suddenly there's all these juts of limestone, these pale slabs that are tilted at odd angles. And there's these large gaps between them that are wide enough even for dwarves to lose their foot in and turn an ankle. And so the two of you are pushing ahead and you're trying to find a path through while Medwin and CALVAIN and Sin are a little bit further behind. And that's when the two of you come across a hollow and in this rising foothill. And there's these two tilted slabs. And when you're standing over top and you're looking down into this hollow, you can see what looks like the remains of a camp. It's not a recent camp, but it's also not an old camp at the same time. So it's not like it's an ancient camp, but something that may be months, a year, who knows. But you can see the bedrolls. There are a few of them are rotted to rags and torn about a bit here and there. There's like an old fire ring that's long been taken away from any heat. And there's all these like scattered things among stones, and it's very quick that you realize the type of debris that would be left behind by orcs. As you see cracked bones, you can see old rot, you can see these dark stains on some of the slabs themselves. Whatever happened here happened very quickly, and the two of you, as you're talking this out, this looks like this camp maybe suffered some kind of ambush. So you're standing at this hollow, the two of you, and you hear the sounds of your company picking their way through some of the rock from behind. And you see all of this horrible stuff below you. Like you can imagine it in your heads exactly what it is. What do you two do? You have a moment before the rest of them arrive. Like what do the two of you do? What do you say to each other? And you're standing at the rim of it, looking down into that hollow.
What if this is Vidar and Noel's camp?
Well, if nothing else, we don't see dead bodies right there, so that there's at least that.
They could have been taken prisoner, but
we'll need to examine it more closely. I think the CALVAIN's eyes will be helpful in this. But
Sin,
she must know the truth. We can't hide it from her.
Help me down. And Edda will get out her equipment. She has rope and hook, and she'll use that to help
Okay.
quickly get down there so she can observe it and look for any.
Give me a scan. Yeah, give me a scan test as you look around. Yeah, when you land, like you almost land on like this pile of bones. You lose your footing a bit. You step back, and your heel comes down on a bone, and you just hear this sickening crack.
Success.
How'd you do? When you look behind you to what you stepped on, you see a femur that you've splintered in half, and you recognize that this is not an animal's bone. This is a person's bone. I need you to roll a valor test, because you failed, you're taking a shadow. There's a sort of a shadow roll here against dread. So give me a valor test. And since Agda, you pass and you're up on the ridge, I think that plays out perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Auto success.
Okay.
So one shadow.
No, you're not going to take anything in this case because you succeed. You're good. But you know that you just stepped on the bone of a living person and not on an animal bone. But
Gods forgive me.
There's two things of interest that you notice. First of all, this likely wasn't a dwarf bone. You can tell just by the size of it. And now that you're getting a closer look, this is not a camp that's only a week old. This is a camp that's months old, likely before winter. Like you can definitely tell just by how everything's probably gone through the perils of ice and snow. The other thing you've noticed is that wedged into a seam in the rock here, there is a little glint and you see this leather purse, the small leather purse that you pluck, and it's hardened. You can definitely tell the leather here is hardened to the point where it's almost like a shell. And inside you see a few coins from Dale. It's got the stamp that you would suggest that you've probably seen before. It's got this small river pearl. It's a little dusty, but you're able to wipe it off pretty easy. And then there are these rolled up, soiled somewhat pieces of like vellum or animal skin that have sketches in them of a woman's face.
Okay. And she'll pocket that with the intent of going to Dale to see if anybody recognizes this woman.
Sure.
And
you can give yourself treasure worth value of 3. Again, don't forget that treasure counts towards your load, but the coins in the pearl, those alone would be a value of 3.
Okay.
Edda, are you ready to come up?
I think so. It's not Dwarven, so, and it's older. Perhaps winter. Before.
Well, that's good news, I suppose, but sad for them.
True.
But we'll have good news for Sin, that this is definitely not her brother.
But there was sign of orc activity, so it does stay on alert.
Well, yes, of course. On 3, have a lift. Agda starts pulling Edda back up.
Okay. And no trouble, like the two of you, and especially with the rope. And by the time you get back up, everyone is caught up. And all of you are near this small little pocket. It's been a trying day. All of you take 2 fatigue from this leg. Do the two of you say anything about this? Do you describe what you saw? Do you share what you discovered inside of the
Edda
hollow?
would, yeah. And just kind of her concern that it was Nal and Vidar, but she doesn't believe that it was Dwarven. And then she does mournfully express that when she landed down that she did break a femur. And that she said prayers for those who were down here, the orc activity, and then also what she found. And she'll show the group. Perhaps if we have the time, we could later head to Dale to see if anyone recognizes this woman on these sketches, or...
That's a very nice idea. Yes, that would be good to at least perhaps bring closure to someone that is waiting for someone to return.
Is the sketch familiar in any way?
No.
But we should be more on the lookout if there are orcs. I don't know if they're still in the area or not, but we're far away from home.
Hopefully they've moved on in the months. Perhaps this was where they were before the weather turned, and I will hope that they are not still here. This is not still their ground, but yes. Eyes up.
Okay. So you all camp out one more time in the hills here. Further away. Presumably you said a while. I think you all are probably smart enough to realize this was an ambush point. You see signs of what was orcs, and probably not that long ago. So you go ahead and you set up your watch. You look around. You hear the sounds of birds in the night overhead, squawking. It's hard to make them out. CALVAIN, with your elvish eyes, you can kind of see black wings on black sky. But they circle and then disappear. They travel back westward, further up the mountain, and they don't bother you again. You're never quite interrupted, but more than once, sounds from up the slope, like not so much avalanche style, but occasionally like a rock might come free, and one or two of you like jump at the sounds of it. And so it's kind of an unsettling night for the first time since it was raining several days ago. And the dwarf road that you had traveled on just a couple days past, that memory is much further away as everything feels a little tense at this point. Okay. So you guys are technically not quite, because your goal was to go to, where was your ultimate desire to end up in terms of
I
your
would have
travel?
shared the Mirror story that Seva had shared. So that would have been Agda's vote.
I also agree that that's where we should check first. And then along the way, look for signs of them.
And you haven't seen anything yet. That you know for sure. Like, you have not seen anything to suggest that you have ever quite overlapped with their path. But as morning comes, I need Sin to give me a travel roll. So again, you guys haven't quite reached it. You're pretty close, but you haven't quite reached it. And then I need Medwin to give me a hunting test as you try to find some food. Maybe CALVAIN tells you a little bit about birds overhead, and you start looking for any signs of possible game.
Success with the 16.
Okay. And then how'd you do, Medwin?
I failed with a 13 under 14.
Dang, you ripped it
So-
kind of quick. I was going to spend a hope for you. Next time.
Okay, so this last, like, it's almost a vertical climb at points as the path that you had taken at the base of the hills. Actually, can you roll it again? You technically should have rolled that at ill-favored. Oh, never mind. You're good, because you had it favored. You would have failed either way. You're good. Sorry.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
okay.
it. Okay.
Oh.
So, Medwin, you start moving up some of the slopes, and then there are times in which you feel yourself literally climbing on top of like a flattened surface, and you see like a tall tree suddenly. This tall, dark green tree plunging up from below, and you see atop of it at one point there is a very enormous bird. It's not an eagle, black feathered, or at least dark feathered. It's certainly not an eagle. And maybe you have a bow, maybe you have a throwing axe, whatever it might be. But right as you're about to maybe take a shot, its head just turns and it squawks, and you stumble, and you go falling down from this perch that you on. And the rest of you just hear Medwin as he's just tumbling and tumbling and tumbling down. Medwin, you are unfortunately wounded, as this actually was terrible misfortune.
Oh no.
Wounded.
So, yes. So it's going to be severe injury. What do you think happens? What do you think the injury is as you come tumbling down from this perch that you're about to hunt from? What do you think happens to you as you slam down within earshot of your party?
I think I probably crack some ribs. I'm landing hard on rocks and something just hits me the wrong way, and I just feel it crunch, and it's harder to breathe. It's harder to stand. Every single movement is pained.
Rest of you see him smash down, and as he gets up, maybe there's a chunk of rock, just kind of sticking out of it here and there, and then blood just pouring and starting to pool in the sides of your furs and your leathers.
Medwin, can you hear us?
Yes.
CALVAIN, he needs help. Let's go.
I'm alive. I'm okay.
You see that
Well,
Medwin? It looks more than a flesh wound.
Oh, yeah, something popped. I'm okay. I can stand.
Just lay down, you silly man. Let CALVAIN look at you.
Yeah, CALVAIN, what's wrong?
By the looks of it, you might have fractured some ribs. You can't do much with this. You'll need days of
that
healing.
hurts. That hurts. Don't touch that.
Let me clean this debris. Let me at least make it easier on you.
Yeah.
Can I do any first aid here?
Isn't
Help
there? I think you can do a test to reduce it by a day or something like that. Is that a thing in this game too? I know it's a thing in a lot of Year Zero engines, but if you want to, I'll say we can do that. Go ahead and roll a healing.
I need to roll to see how long it lasts, right?
I had already rolled it because I have it automated in the system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 6 days. So I think it's like if...
I didn't see it. Yeah.
Vague memory. If you succeed, you can reduce it by a day. And if you have bonus successes, you can reduce it by additional days equal to the number of bonuses. Does that sound familiar?
It's exactly what it is. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Page 101.
Yep. Successful
All right,
first aid only once.
Healing roll failed, actually, a 7 with
Why did we
even
bring you
favored.
around?
It was terrible. Oh my god.
You're the
was
worst elf ever. What do you think happens? What do you think messes up? Do you think it's you make a mistake, or do you think it's just too complicated of a heal, or you get distracted? What do you think happens?
Yeah, the ominous feeling of the birds hovering around catch my attention more than the injury, and I pass it off maybe a bit more. It isn't as severe as it looks, so I leave it untreated.
Okay. So maybe you don't clean it out as much. You wrap it up as best you can, because you do have to get moving, but the pain is still there, Medwin. Stories of elvish healing perhaps are exaggerated. Elvish medicine.
Stories of elvish everything. I have not been impressed in the slightest.
You kind of miss Arcinius. Man, I wish that old man was around. All right.
Even his tea tastes awful.
All of you go ahead and take an additional 2 fatigue as this last leg climbing up and over this ridge is fairly trying, and it does. You move much more slowly in the mountains. But
oh my goodness.
Man.
Eventually, about a day and a half after your camp, maybe around midday, you crest, the ground crests up, and then it comes down. And you see, extending out beneath you, the Dimrill Dale that the dwarves would be able to recognize immediately, maybe even CALVAIN. It's long, it's gray, it's very still. The wind almost cuts off for a minute, or at least an hour, as for the last day or so, it's been sort of whapping, like whipping against you as you climb up the mountains. But here, there's a moment it just gets extraordinarily still. You can see the 3 peaks, obviously, of the various mountains and such around, but the valley floor itself, despite its grayness, there are these dots of like gray-green turf here and there. There's stone in a somewhat regular pattern here and there that suggests this is not just natural. Some of it might be flagstones through the grass and these 2 straight of lines, like what CALVAIN discovered. In other cases, it might be like a carved threshold or like a tipped over column, maybe something from a plaza. You can see the Silverlode, the river itself, which runs through the valley. It's fairly cold and such, but it's racing kind of upward towards the mountain's foot here and there. You can see there's also a few ancient trees, not many. This place, according to your knowledge, Agda, once was filled with woods, but no longer. But there are some left. They're twisted. They're clinging to the slopes of Lake Caradris and to the north a bit here and there. But they're very dark, even in full daylight. Every now and then you can see, as you try to peer upwards to some of the higher slopes and ridges, you can certainly see some wild goats and other animals, but there's not a ton of clear and obvious activity. And again, you see more of those dark birds here and there. Some of them swooping overhead, some of them up perched on some of these trees. You guys have arrived at the Dimrill Dale. what is going through everyone's mind as you stand at this ridge and you look down? You see the river, and you see the it's like the elevation, and you know that maybe a half day's journey or maybe an hour's journey, maybe to the northish, the lake Mirror is right there. So as you come over, like, what are you all thinking? Like, what's going through your mind? How are you feeling?
Sister, we're so close.
It's strange and unbelievable that we're here.
The whole thing is just so unsettling.
But also the opportunities and the mark we could leave here.
Sin, can you imagine what was going through Vidar's mind when he made this trek?
Vidar was probably just following Nell. And she left without any guards. She should not have taken my brother with her.
We knew that this was a dangerous journey, but seeing it up close, it's just even more difficult than I could have imagined.
That he should not have gone with her, or she should not have left the guard anyway.
But from what we heard, it sounded as if he wanted to go.
Of course he wanted to go. He's stupid as hell. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. I know why he wanted to go. I just.
They've made it this far, it would appear.
Or we have lost them entirely.
Maybe the lake will show us?
I suppose.
Medwin, are you holding up okay?
Live. Prefer if we found him sooner rather than later.
Me too.
Well, I can't imagine if Nala taking a drop like that. That was quite the slip.
We don't need to keep talking about it, though. You know, that's the thing. Like, the more we talk about it, the more I think about how much this right here just hurts. And I'd rather not think about that.
How are you handling Baron's loss?
What? Let's talk about my ribs. I
only thought to ask because you mentioned you were also attacked by wargs, and I'm sorry that we did not get there sooner.
Is this the time or the place? Which way do you think Vidar went?
It is a place for remembrance and inner thoughts, and I think this is a very good place for it.
I appreciate your concern. I'm gonna keep these inner thoughts inner for a while longer.
All right.
The Sentinel is in our view. So we get closer. I've heard much stories from your folk.
I think so. I do want to cast my gaze. Does that make me foolish?
Why would it?
In the lake.
I think Nala probably would have wanted to as well.
Everyone, as you start to maybe descend down into the valley, everyone go ahead and give me a travel test. This is technically, let's see how much of that fatigue that you accrued over the past
So much
several
fatigue.
days travel.
Oh my
So
gosh.
much
Actually.
Yep. Yep.
Ooh. That's not good.
All right. It's
The
this
hell are these rolls? My God.
You
dramatic
front-loaded
rolls.
Yandy's too
Oh,
much.
hell yes. Well, all of my
Dramatic
points
rolls.
are in trouble and it's paying off.
My gosh.
Yeah, you've got 4 dice in travel, and it's favored. I feel like you're never going to fail the travel test. Let's
I'm
see.
shit at everything else though.
Yeah. Let's start with Edda. That's the first one I see. Edda, you failed, right?
I did, yep.
Okay, so all of that fatigue you accrued it's there. It's part
Still
of your
there.
Oh my gosh.
Agda, same deal. CALVAIN, same deal. Same thing with
failed,
Medwin. Oh my god. So the only person who gets to move anything, so you lose. So Sin, you succeeded, but it was a regular success. You can tick down your fatigue by 1.
Yeah, I'm at 8.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was at
I'm at
8.
9.
Now I'm at 7.
Okay. So
Wow.
you all begin to descend. It's a little bit easier coming down this side of this slope. It's a little bit more tapered, and you find yourselves moving with a little bit of care. You eventually make it to the Silver Lode. You see the sort of the dirtyish, like it's not dirty, but you can definitely tell it's like silty in some places. But at the top, it's still moving with some sort of fluidity. It's not moving very quickly. It's not hastily moving, but it's nonetheless like there, and you kind of look down at it. It doesn't look entirely clear to you at times. You notice patches on the ground near the river, much like what you saw out in the West Nether Vales. You see these old dwarf road sections, and you're able to follow along those here and there. It's overgrown, broken paving stones are very, in some cases are sort of indistinguishable from some of the rubble that you're seeing. But those of you who have any knowledge of dwarf history, you can tell the difference between a bunch of rocks and what likely at some point was a structure or a piece of art, stone, statue, pedestal, and you push up the river a ways. For each of the dwarves, I'm curious, I have a question for you. All of you are young, I believe, so I don't think any of you are particularly old. So none of you would have actually fought in the Battle of Azanal Bazaar, but some of your kin might have. So mother, father, uncle, cousin, whatever. So what do you think when the War of Dwarves and Orcs, when the Battle of Zanzibar, like when all of this was going down, do you think you had family members who fought in this war? Okay.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, I would say for sure. At least
Okay.
we have been told stories that we did.
Was it like your direct parents, like your direct parental lineage? The two of you?
I think it would make sense that
Yeah.
like we sort of come from people who wander.
Okay. So both of your parents or just one?
I think maybe just our mom.
All right. Did in the stories that she told you, what did she tell you about? Did she tell you about like scourging the goblin lairs? Did she tell you about fighting near Gundabad? Did she tell you about getting into Goblin Town, or in Azanal Bazaar itself, like this sort of region here? Like, were there any specific things that you might have heard about?
I would say goblins are things that she definitely talked a lot about.
So just like scourged, like went into some of these tunnels and looked for goblin warrens. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Got it. And presumably just judging by your ages, your mom survived. Just judging by what I know
Yeah.
of your ages, so she survived. Okay. Fantastic.
Yep.
And
Stories of
Go
Hulda.
ahead. Stories of
Sin,
Hulda.
nobody in her immediate family fought in the war, but she is a paid storyteller and minstrel and songwriter and everything. Between hearing the songs and stories from other people in the same industry, I think Nal specifically was one of the weaponsmiths for the war. And Vidar has talked about her to Sin the same way Medwin talks about Bjorn. So kind of in awe,
Okay.
a little bit of like hero worship, like maybe not entirely true. So Sin's experience of the war is hearing a lot of like dwarven stories about their successes.
Okay, but none of your family actually fought.
No.
Okay.
Closest is now providing the weapons.
Yeah, let's be careful with how close you have. You're like Nal's not like a family friend. It's like more like she's a legendary smith. But I would say. I don't
Sorry,
comfortable making her a
that's what I
family
meant.
friend.
There's nobody in Sin's family.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. But like the stories that like Vidar has told, make it sometimes feel like, yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And if it's okay with Ashley, maybe we did have someone also in the family that had fought kind of side by side with Hulda who didn't make it home.
Maybe one of our uncles.
Uncle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how he died, or do you know where he died? Did he like fight with Thrain at the steps? Did he die to goblins near Goblin Town? Like, what do you think?
I would say maybe they weren't together and maybe he died here at this battle.
So he was at the like he was actually in the battle of Azanal Bazaar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Uncle died. Okay. Okay. So that's the story that you told, that you've been told, that your mom survived, but she was actually in the tunnels of the Misty Mountains chasing and like on a goblin scourge. But she didn't fight in this particular battle, but your uncle did, and he passed here. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. So how are, especially the two of you, knowing that your uncle passed here, your mother fought here, like how are you two feeling as you're like literally moving across ground in which dwarfkin, orckin, or orcs died, soaked the ground with blood, destroyed this place?
It's definitely conflicting emotions. She feels prideful of her people, but she's sad that she never actually got to meet her uncle, who her mother speaks of so fondly, and that her mother did have scars from her battles and stuff that she went through, and she's seen how much it hurts her mother to speak of her brother who did pass. They were so close. So she just is very kind of sorrowful that she never got to meet him.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone who like knew how he died? Like did at any point, like did he die in a specific way? Was he was he there at the end? Did he die like in battle, or did he die from wounds after battle? Like was there any particular story, or is it just no one knows for sure? Because it was
I would
such
say
chaos.
that there was a another, maybe not literal family member, but almost family member who,
Like a clan member.
Yeah, exactly. Who fought close to him and saw him pass in battle. So that, again, sort of the lore, the story, that individual survived. That individual told Hulda the stories of how her brother passed. And so all of that oral tradition.
All right. I'm sorry to put you guys in the spot. Do you have a name for your uncle?
What about like Haldrin, similar to like
Okay.
His sister.
Sure. Can't think of trying to think if there's a Haldren that I know of. Off the top of my head, I think you're good. We reserved a right to change it later, but yeah, Haldren, that makes sense. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. This might come back. So all of you start moving carefully up. Is anyone taking any precautions in particular? I'm going to turn to Medwin and CALVAIN here. Like, while the dwarves might seem lost in thought here and there, might be talking, pointing out this or that, are the two of you doing anything in particular as you're moving carefully up this valley?
Yes, I'd be more cautious about where we're moving, like the surrounding area, taking the scan around, making sure we're not going to be jumped or ambushed in any way, since this orc activity has been around.
Okay. What about you, Medwin?
He'd be kind of doing the same thing along the same lines, but he'd be looking at it more from like a hunting perspective. Like, we have not seen much game, so he's looking for like animal trails and things like that, and trying to like get a lay of the land to see if there's an idea of like where animals move through, which would also tell us if there's a trail that like people move through, that kind of stuff.
Or if there's like bigger game scaring away the smaller game.
Both of you can roll tests. Medwin, you can do a hunting test, and CALVAIN, you could probably do an awareness, unless you wanted to really do scan. Awareness is more for detecting danger. Scan is more for like hitting, finding secret things that might not be obvious.
Yeah, it's going to go with awareness.
Okay. Yeah, so both of you can do that as you're kind of taking points to a degree.
My dice have soured. That is a failure for me.
Okay.
I have also failed.
I think there's a Sauron in there too.
I'm favored.
It was favored. It was favored.
Yeah,
no. Yeah.
Damn you and your favored rolls. Okay.
Mel keeps getting Jeff so excited.
I know, right? Okay, so the two of you are trying, like you can see the dwarves are maybe moving more slowly. They're looking here. Maybe they linger past this set of rubble that definitely looks like it once was a statue, now drawn to rubble. CALVAIN, you do notice a few times, you don't notice any immediate danger, but you definitely get the sense as you look up, the crows, these black birds in the sky, at times it almost seems like they're following you. They fly, and there's not a lot of trees, but there are scattered tall, black, very dark trees, and you see a few of them will stay there. And then they'll fly to the next one, almost like they're like hopping from one tree to the next, following your path up. And you definitely notice that there is one that's very large. None of them swoop down and get anywhere close to you, and they're not even making noise or anything like that. But it almost feels like maybe you're just being paranoid, but it almost feels like they're following along with you. Medwin, you don't notice any large game down here. You really don't. Some rats and things like that skitter around here and there. Maybe you find some droppings behind some collection of rubble. The only thing you notice that might suggest huntable game is you see occasionally up on the ridges, the tall ridges, like almost impossibly vertical ridges. You see these mountain goats as if they're like hopping and moving along a specific path. As you continue upward and crest over a ridge and you see the water cutting through, you look forward, Medwin, and you can see at the far end of the valley, there are, it looks like there's structures up there, and you see there's a mountain wall that suddenly is no longer a mountain, but it's rather this massive stone carving that takes up just a huge portion. It's raised on a ridge. It's still a great distance away, but you can see it. And this is most likely the east gate of Moria. It looks huge, but it also looks, you think, closed at this distance. You're not sure. And you also notice in front of it, down this ridge a ways, there extends a large, slender lake that begins almost where you stand, widens, tapers out in the direction, like a kind of a northeasterly direction, where you can see the other structures, almost maybe a tower, or like a watchtower, in the ridges to the northeast. It's hard to say. Every now and then you see in some of the slopes around, not huts, but definitely masonry, brickwork here and there scattered about as you've reached the edge of the Miramir. The other thing you notice is on the other side of the shore, kind of on the underneath the ridge where the large stone arch is kind of dominating the entrance into Moria itself, you see like these mounds almost at the shore of the Miramir on the northwestern side. Like it's almost like a half circle of like these mounds and a small stone pillar in the middle of them. And then further to the northeast, as you slowly approach, you can see the ruins of maybe a watchtower, but also this loose stair. And even in the further distance, you can see these waterfalls coming down. What would you guys like to do?
We have arrived. It is even more than I could have imagined it was.
Yes, and is similarly breathlessly odd.
Edda is quiet, but she is heading more towards the lake and the stillness and kind of wanting to see if she can view anything, see what if it will show anything to her.
Okay. You move up to the edge of this. It's not a large lake. It's very small.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark. There's gusts of wind every now and then, but they never seem to disrupt the surface. It doesn't seem like it creates ripples or currents. It just feels perfectly still. And when you look down into it, you do not see your reflection. Like it's just not there. Your face. Mm-hmm. So many times you've looked in a river or a lake or anything, and you've seen a reflection, but not this time. You don't see it at all. You do see the peaks, the various mountains, and what almost looks like a night sky, but you don't see yourself. What do you do with that?
This is peculiar, Agda. I don't see myself.
What are you speaking of? You don't see yourself.
Do you?
Well, of course I would. And Agda will kind of go off to the right.
Step up, and just like Edda, when you look down into the surface of this lake, you do not see your own face. It does not show.
And she's waving her arm out, expecting to see something.
Mm-hmm.
No reflection of her arm, no.
No. You see the peaks. You see the night sky. Even though it's kind of daytime. It's like afternoon. Doesn't seem to reflect the faces of anyone who seems to look into it.
The stories are true.
You do not see yourself either.
You're right, I do not. Fascinating.
As the three of you stand there looking, that you're trying and having this conversation, soon you start to see something glow in the lake. And you start to see what looks like stars begin to glow, almost like an arc around you. But when you look up at the sky, there are no stars in the sky. But when you look down at the lake, you very clearly see an array of stars.
Do you know that constellation, Agda?
I don't understand what is going on. But can I roll like a lore?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a dwarf, so if you don't have it at favored, or actually,
Oh my
just give yourself
gosh.
a bonus die.
What happened? Okay, bonus die. All right, that should get me there. All right, now I passed. Thank goodness for the bonus die.
This is not necessarily overly surprising what's happened. Like, this is probably a story you've heard. Like, this is the legend of Durin. Like, that's not the, like this is, legend says he looked down into the lake and saw not himself, but a crown of stars, and kind of led him to build Khazad-dûm, so this is, it's not surprising, but there's not that many people you probably know that actually visited this lake. And sometimes people take pilgrimages here. Not many. It's dangerous these days, but it's not uncommon for a dwarf. There are some very sad histories, especially as it comes to the war of dwarves and orcs, that revolve around this idea of like taking pilgrimages and looking into this lake and sort of seeing what they see. But the legend is that Durin the Deathless, after he awoke in Mount Gundabad to the north, he came southward until he found this lake, and he looked down in it and he saw this crown above his head that was like a reflection of stars, and he took that as a sign, and that's why he built Khazad-dûm here, in the mountains that feed into the Mirror.
Sister, we are seeing as Durin saw.
I hope it gave Vidar the answers he was looking for if he also looked.
Seemed certain that he did. This is without sin. There are songs to be made of this that have our name in them. There are stories of Durin and seeing this crown, and we have seen the same. Once we find Vidar, we will put our heads together and make quite the song of this.
So you stand here at basically like the southern edge of the Mirror. To the northwest-ish of here, across the lake, you see that crest of mounds and that pillar. Then you see a ridge climb until the wall of the mountain and that massive arch that all of you now would know is the East Gate of Moria. It's the only known entrance, easily discoverable entrance into Moria itself. And then off to the northeast, if you were to follow along the pathway of the lake itself, that's where you can see the ruins of some kind of watchtower. Now, you don't see any immediate signs of a camp, but this place is not small. The Dimrill Dale is quite large in some ways. The lake isn't huge. You can circumnavigate it pretty quickly. But what do you think you all would just start searching around for signs of a campfire, or like what is your task now? You're here, so what do you guys do next?
I think if it's afternoon and it already looks like night, even if it's not because we're in the valley, Medwin would advocate to find a safe place to rest, because it could take a couple days of searching before we find them. We should make sure we have a secure location, because it can be a dangerous place. We don't want to camp just right next to the shore where everyone can see us. So he would want to look out for the safety of us before anything else.
I think knowing that they left a week ahead of us, but maybe aren't as well traveled as we are, we arrived just a little bit before they might have, or they're already, they're a day or so ahead of us, I think. So
should we not split around the lake and see what each of us can see? Surely there must be some tracks or evidence of a put out fire or something to be seen.
I think we should check the entrances to see if they've already breached.
I would like to go in the direction of the ruins of the watchtower and see if they might have made camp in that direction.
Okay, so you're going to travel along the southern rim, kind of curving around to the northeasternly side. Edda, did you say you wanted to look at the actual gates, like actually go up to the gates?
Yeah, because she just wants to verify if they've already breached or,
Okay.
Shown signs of that, like get a timeline of where they're at with travel.
All right. So then you're going in a different direction. You're crossing around to the northwest and heading up the ridge towards where the flat smooth. So splitting the party. What about the rest of you?
Medwin would go with Agda in the hopes that the watchtower would be a good place for us to camp.
I'll tag along with Edda.
Okay. Sin?
Ashley.
Okay. So the bottom row, I think, is heading towards the main gates.
Mm-hmm.
And then Medwin and Agda are heading towards the watchtower to the northeast. So why don't one of you in each group roll a scan test or an awareness test, however you want to flavor it, if you're just looking for something more hidden or if you're looking just out for danger, however you want to flavor it. Like one of you can do that. If you want to do hope to give bonus dice to the other to assist, you can also do that as well. As these two groups split around the lake. Let's start with the easy one, the top two. Which one of you wants to be constantly scanning or looking for danger or for trouble or whatever it might be?
You want to do it, Agda?
I've got 3 pips in scan.
That's a lot better than me.
Do you want to spend a hope to give her another d6?
Yeah, I'll give her a hope.
Okay. Guess I've been rolling all the night. So, okay.
Bonus, so I'm rolling 4d6.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's...
You didn't have to jinx it, Jeff.
That's a Sauron. That's a fail, and rolled an eye.
Okay.
Man, so many
Wow.
low
D6s were bad,
numbers.
too.
I know, 1s and 2s.
Okay. So the two of you move around the lake at no point, even if Medwin, if you look into it, at no point do you see yourselves reflected. You come over to this northeastern section, and you find yourselves approaching these ruins. When you come to it, it's very clear that the foundations are broad enough to suggest that this was once something quite formidable, but it certainly appears in terrible state. Like there's some of the walls are completely missing. The remaining walls that are standing, some of them have been reduced to like these broken like courses of dwarf cut stone, and you can see there's grass and rubble that fills some of the gaps. You do notice though that there are small huts that have been built here and there into some of the scavenged stonework, and they're scattered about. It doesn't look like these are like ancient, right? It doesn't have that feel to it. It just looks more like something that someone pieced together with some of the rubble from time to time. But definitely the bones of this place was like stripped out long ago. And it's as if someone else came through and perhaps at some point in time, not like yesterday, but maybe over the years, have created these little patches there. So you definitely see these types of things. It definitely was a larger fortification at some point, but thousands of years, 1,000 years have passed, and things are kind of certainly in worse state. The bottom row, who's rolling the scan or awareness test?
I've got 3 pips in scan.
As well. Do we want to do awareness though, since they're doing scan, or what would you prefer?
You guys are in different places, so you're going to get different info.
True.
I'll send Hope your way, whoever's rolling.
Yeah, if you...
Ash, why don't you roll, then I'll send Hope to Long for whatever he wants to roll, because he's my fellowship foes.
Wait. What?
Are we doing scan and awareness? Or scan.
We're
or
doing one or
awareness?
the other.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Just whatever you want to do. Awareness is more about looking for danger. Scan is more about trying to detect something that might be hidden. Like hidden details or things.
Yeah, I guess we could do scan then.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Alright.
I could roll. I've got 3 as well. Are you favored? Sin?
I'm not. No.
Okay.
I'm happy to throw you hope though, with just a little bit of pep talk for help me find my brother. Thank you so much for your help to find him.
Oof. Great success. I got a 6 an additional.
Right on the number.
Okay.
Right on the number.
So the 3 of you like trudge up this ridge into the face of this mountain, like this relatively flat wall, but with an absolutely massive stone arch that is dominating that face at what ultimately is like the end of the valley, right? It's extraordinarily large. So large that it could probably have like swallowed the greatest dragon that has ever lived. It's that large. And for the dwarves, like you would definitely notice that like the blocks of it are carved with dense Kudzel runes here and there, the language of the dwarves. And there's warnings in about a half dozen different languages that all say the same thing. Leave unless you have the leave of the Lord of Moria. Like leave here unless you actually have the permission of the Lord of Moria. You can see there's these 2 tall windows that are flanking the thresholds above, and like this sort of worn steps in the ground that leads up to the actual door itself, which is very clearly closed, and it is enormous. There's also some smoke that you smell, some foulness, and you notice churned up bits of mud to either side of this step. These steps that go up to the gate. You can see bodies, like a body here, a body there, orcish bodies, like some of them you can see. You see like one kind of just off to the side a bit, all sorts of insects and various bugs crawling over top of it, relatively fresh. But the gates absolutely seem completely and utterly closed. And I would tell you this because I don't want you guys to get your hopes up. There is no way whatsoever you would know not just how you all would break this down. There is no earthly way that Null and Vidar would be able to break this down. This is not the type of door that like you would be able to just pop the hinges and you go inside. So if they came through here, the doors were closed after they came through. And these aren't the type of the doors that like even 2 or even all 5 of you could push them closed or push them open. Those are not these doors.
Perhaps they found a different entrance.
You're right on that one.
Bodies.
Something killed these. We must be on the lookout.
Sin's gonna go up to the body and just kind of the nearest orc body and see if she can find.
Yeah,
Was there a
you climb
weapon
down.
wound or a warg?
Oh yeah,
or...
like you climb down and you see like the dwarf, or excuse me, the orcish body next to you. Like it's been dead for a few days, probably, maybe not quite a week, but it's kind of half eaten by these bugs and things, and it has like a big slash in it, like it just got cut. But you would notice that like the wound itself is fairly jagged and twisted. It's likely was stabbed by an orcish weapon, like orc on orc violence.
Right. She'll relay that these guys.
We should find the others then, Agda and Medwin, and keep an eye out for orcs.
Absolutely.
I don't like that Agda went to the watchtower.
So back
Edwin
at
was
the
with her.
watchtower, back at the watchtower, the 2 of you are going through rubble, and you're like looking at some of the stones, these things like that, and suddenly you hear and you're not sure exactly from where. You hear thud-thud-thump, thump, thud-thud-thump, thump, thud-thud-thump, thump. As you hear the sounds of almost like a drum beat playing, and a drum beat like thud-thud-thump, boom, thud-thud-thump, boom, one after the other. And then, as you look around to try to get any idea of where it's coming from, like you hear the sound of like as an orcish arrow comes flying out of absolute nowhere and just stabs right into the earth near you, just missing the two of you. And as you're looking around, you hear these drums going off. You hear a sudden voice pick up behind you.
Well, haven't the two of you done it now? You idiots, get in here quickly before they come down.
And you look around, and behind you, you can see, like, in the floor of one of these huts, like a piece of stone has been lifted up, and you see this gnarled old face of a dwarfish woman with gray and white hair, with all sorts of pockmarks and scars, and she's bleeding from more than a few wounds. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end for tonight, and we'll pick up on that next time, and we'll go from there.
As soon as the arrows come in, Medwin hides behind Agda.
Goes and dives in the mirror. Everything will find.
I'm visually imagining how, like, Medwin has to curl himself to fit behind a dwarf. We found her.
What a session.
Oh.
And just for the record, Medwin was the first to find Moria, and he did say dibs as soon as he saw it, so that makes it his now.
Dibs doesn't exist in this universe, but nice try.
Okay, Scoobies, whatever it is.
That's even less likely to exist, but, as Medwin will tell the story.
Okay. All right, then. So that is it. Let's do a couple closing plugs and we get on out of here. Trey, tell us where we can find you on the internet.
Trey plays games on YouTube where I make system agnostic or multi-system tabletop content that centers team replacements.
Awesome. Steven, I hear you make a game.
Yeah, it's a Weird West action horror game. Think Hellboy and Tombstone. You can go to huckleberryrpg.com/preorder to pre-order your own book. You can use code LOLLY to get $5 off. And we are very close to going to print pretty soon because we got the final layout happening. And we're going to give that a month for a little bit of playtesting and feedback. And then we'll be printing the books. So we are in the home stretch.
Awesome, man. As for us, streaming schedule, we got a special stream tomorrow, actually, assuming my voice holds up, at 11, I think, Central Time. We're going to be playing some Orbital Blues with a couple friends of ours from Tales of Myth and Mayhem. So we're going to be playing through that for maybe a week or two. So if you want to come see the top row and Mark and Levacia from Tales of Myth and Mayhem, we're going to be playing through some sad space cowboys. Monday, again, my voice holds up. We're going to be doing some We're in Danger, which is a game I've been working on. Tuesday, we've got Wild Sea with Kipser. Thursday, we got Coriolis next week. And then we'll be back next Saturday with more One Ring. Big schedule, heavy schedule, lots of stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening if you're listening to the podcast feed later. And if you don't mind, hitting like a sub, follow, whatever it is that you got to do on whatever platform it is so that you know, so that we know that you're following us and all that kind of good stuff. All right. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Farewell.